Empire Kalios is presented as the greatest state continent, with rich history, towering castles, and endless green hills. In her dark forests covered darkness and mystery, they talk about ferocious monsters, frightening even the most brave travelers. These stories were used adults to teach children honesty, inspiring. They are afraid of the terrible monster that always punishes deceivers. But for the residents, for Kalios, all monsters remained just legends, used in educational goals without faith in them existence. Deep in the forest, knights find magical a stone, glowing with a bright light, that it evokes both fear and admiration in them. Aslan, young gentleman, with purple, with his eyes, he watches the find with composure, leaving knights to manage remaining affairs. Family Hickarel are the only ones who know the truth about existence monsters, keeping secrets about them, nature and ways to combat them. Throughout centuries, the Hickarels served as the shield of the empire, protecting her from the invisible enemies, and even respected them imperial family. However, behind the walls of their castle lies a secret that even those who close to the ruling dynasties. Red flags surrounded darkness symbolize the majestic power of the Hickarels and their readiness protect empire from everything unknown. The power of the ancients genus. Hickarel tightly associated with ancient oath. This knowledge was stored for thousands of years until it did not pass to young Aslan. Blood. The blood of demon hunters flowed through the veins of the family. The eldest son of the duchy, Aslan, absorbed this force, especially deep. At the age of 14, Aslan became unrivaled demon hunter, freely fighting the darkness and fulfilling mind duty without knowing defeat. Despite his successes, the young man suffered from the inexplicable disappointments after each hunting. The forest was for him place consolation and reflection. One day, while wandering among trees, he felt something strange. His instincts, they told me that something was hiding nearby, something otherworldly. Among forest, he noticed the shadow's figure. His eyes sparkled with tension, but in front of him was not a monster, but a young Roel. Deep in the Camus forest, fate unexpectedly brought together them. They met with a look, experiencing incomprehensible feeling. Recognition. It's past 5 years, life continued. Go your own in turn, but the connection that formed that day remained significant for both of them. Roel remembered the words that the Dark One had inspired in her figure from past. She was reminded of the mercy that she obliged which hurt her soul. She knew that one day, her life, they'll sell it masquerading as a defect, but a meeting with a stranger was unexpected and left many questions. Roel hears rumors about the future groom, Duke Hickarel, whom they call scary a man with burns. People are afraid of him, considering him a monster. Stories acquire new twist. There are rumors that Hickarel may be vampire Roel. Shocked this thought, worrying about his fate, Roel and the knight approach the border of the Duke's lands. Her covers trembling indeed, ahead her waiting unknown and frightening reality. Knight supports Roel in her doubts, offering help. She thanks him, but the tension doesn't go away. Her look from windows gives out alarm. In the village again are discussing disappearances of people in the Camus forest. Mystery envelops this one terrain, forcing belief in the existence of monsters. Roel walks through the gloomy forest of Camus. The silence is oppressive fear, covers with a new by force. She's scared, but she should continue. On Roel attacks beast, but her saves mysterious man with red eyes. His presence inspires fear and surprise at the same time. The man asks if everything is okay, Roel. He is sure that he cannot leave her alone and protects her from further threats. Salvation, stunning Roel, but unexpected meeting with Aslan causes set questions. She whispers his name, but is afraid answers. In a tense. In the dialogue, Aslan hints that knows Roel. Their views intersect, revealing the secret of their strange connections. Aslan, wounded and exhausted forces, sat against Roel. His red's eyes, filled with pain and determination, chained her sight. He slow exhaled, calling her name, and seemed to freeze excited answer. His voice was quiet, but with a hint of sadness and guilt. Roel. I woke up in the room, not right away, understanding where her heart it was beating wildly, and the look was rushing about when she noticed that she was not alone. Young Knight explained that their carriage was attacked mountain beast. His calm tone slightly calmed down excitement. Wolay. Young woman tried realize that experienced was reality. Her thoughts were confused until she had tried to understand how they all survived. Knight said that if If it weren't for Aslan, the consequences could have be catastrophic. His words penetrated Roel's soul, causing gratitude. Surprised, she clarified, indeed, Lee's speech. It's about Aslan, having made sure she thought about him with a new interest. I remembered Aslan. He looked serious, but not frightening. His eyes seemed a mystery, hiding inside bitter secrets. She learned that Aslan and the Duke had gone finish off remaining animals. Roel felt concern for his safety. Finally ahead, the castle of the Duchy of Hickarel appeared. This majestic construction symbolized end their tests. Roel with curiosity, looking out the window. Carriages wondering greatness, buildings, where she will have to begin new life, experiencing easy alarm. Aslan notices her look, and with a grin, asks what she was so attracted, forcing the girl will be embarrassed and take away eyes. There are noises in the training room, loud teams, duchesses, Hickarel, who with seriousness demands from the knights complete concentration and discipline. Roel accidentally falls frightened, but the Duchess picks her up, her showing unexpected care that causes the girl sincere gratitude. Roel quietly thanks the Duchess, feeling admiration, her strength and greatness, although inside her, all more torment doubts about oneself place here. Arriving at the palace, Roel meets the maids and the Duchess, who intently studies her right away, asking questions about origin girls. The servant reports that Roel is a daughter. Viscount the Duchess is amazed her young age. Her sight becomes all more evaluating. Duchess, with obvious irritation, points out the inappropriate appearance of Roel, comparing her with the thief, causing the girl panic and confusion. Irritation Duchesses, it gets stronger, but Shibare pulls himself together and orders due from Roel is a worthy man, leaving her a chance. Roel remains in the hall, immersed in her thoughts. Words of the Duchess sound in my head, echo, but she firmly decides, prove your worth. Roel feels myself stranger in the new environment. Her sight thoughtfully directed to the side, creating an atmosphere of doubt and timidity. Butler Danyon appears in the room, forcing Roel shudder. His stern but polite appearance emphasizes importance moment. Danyon seems to be how butler of the Duchy of Hickarel, adding on a respectful note offering address him by his first name. Roel begins test trust. Young woman confused and excited. Her anxiety gives out tension in her hands. She worries about his fate in the castle. Without understanding the reasons for it, unrest. Danyon asks. Clarifying question, Roel covers more feeling anxiety and uncertainty. She thinks doesn't likely Duchess her presence. This strengthens her fears, making her appearance is still more vulnerable. Danyon, with good-natured smile, explains that the Duchess is worried because of her fragile external view, trying to relieve tension. Roel is perplexed, is being asked the question was, lie expression, faces, Duchesses really sign, worries. Her thoughts get confused. Danyon accepts a welcoming pose and announces that he is glad to welcome Roel in the castle, what gives episode feeling warmth. He shows her the basics parts of the castle, including servants' quarters, and a banquet hall, emphasizing majesty her new environment. Danyon accompanies. Roel walks through the spacious corridors and points out places that are important for work. The girl, wary, listens attentively, trying remember. Roel ponders what lies ahead for her study, everything in the house to be useful. Her sight expresses mixture excitement and responsibility. Danyon notices fatigue. Roel offers to take her to her room. His care and attention help the girl relax. When Roel enters his new room, she was surprised realizes luxury environment, that it seems completely to her unfamiliars. Looking at interior, Roel is amazed by the richness and comfort. She thinks that even the Viscountess did not live in such conditions. Girl pinches yourself to make sure that this is not a dream. Her face displays doubts and light anxiety. Danyon concerned her reaction and asks, that's all whether it is okay? But the appearance Duchess's Hickarel interrupts their talk. Roel nervously greets the Duchess, radiating modesty. Her words are filled with respect, but the voice gives away easy timidity. Hickarel asks direct question, demanding honest answer. Girl feels a piercing, a look that's hard to hide excitement. Having heard doubt in her age, Roel confirms his youth, by feeling like voltage grows, submitting to the authority of the Duchess. Roel, feeling alarm, realizes that the Duchess of Hickarel has learned the truth about her age. This causes her internal panic. Under pressure, emotions. Roel apologizes to the Duchess, in fearing that her will be revealed, and the consequences will be catastrophic. Duchess, unexpectedly soft, looks at Roel and notices her fragility. She is amazed at how much girl seems small and vulnerable. Slightly leaning towards Roel, the Duchess asks if she wants to whether to eat. This gesture fills the moment with care and warmth. Roel, embarrassed attention, hastily assures that everything is fine with her, but her appearance clearly causes the Duchess is worried. Hikaru calls Danyan and commands to him immediately, take care that Roel didn't remain hungry as if her condition. Urgent task. Before Roel, they put the dishes on, but her sight expresses confusion, and the Duchess patiently asks, is there something what she doesn't eat? Roel denies that there is any prohibitions, but her uncertainty prompts the Duchess to clarify what she loves more total. The situation softens when the Duchess, despite her status, shows touching care, forcing Roel feel yourself in safety. Roel, with anxiety, realizes that such abundant. The feast is not usual for her. She got used to hunger in the estate, where food was rarity. She wonders how she managed to calmly enjoy an exquisite dinner for her. This it was new, real luxury. Siren notices excitement. Roel and calls her, get started eating faster. Roel, embarrassed, thanks the Duchess for her concern. Roel notices that taste food indescribable, pleasant. The Siren, seeing her emotions, feels inner warmth and decides to treat her more. When Roel asks for more, Serena decides to give her a whole saucepan soup. Her sincere delight affects Heart Duchesses. After meals, Roel is going on vacation. They wish her kind nights, and she gratefully retires to his room. Sitting on the bed, she feels the joy of delicious food, and for the first time in a long time, feels myself for real satisfied. The next day, the table bursting with dishes. The Siren insistently offers Roel try everything while enjoying her sincere reactions. Roel, it is recognized that she ain't anymore. There is. Her eyes are filling up gratitude, but Serena is lost in thoughts, as it could her saturate. Siren thoughtfully reflects on the past, Roel realizing how much she lacked basic care and warmth. Roel sat on the soft beds, thinking how important it would be. Try there is more to restore strength. She felt myself exhausted but grateful. Girl felt incredible comfort from touching the air sheets. This moment seemed magical to her after long years of hardship. Memories came flooding back. She spent several years sleeping on straw bedding in the middle of the cold barn. The contrast was too bright. I remembered how one day, while cleaning my room, Viscountesses by chance dozed off. For this, her cruelly punished and pain, all still lived in the heart. It seemed to her it's incredible that she left the house, Viscount. However, the fear remained. Suddenly, all what's happening, just a dream that soon will it dissipate. Roel, I thanked fate for the fact that her haven't been kicked out yet. However, anxiety suggested that a wrong step can cost her everything. Despite the Duchess's kindness, the girl felt necessity prove that she useful. Tomorrow she obliged will begin to act. Compared their old torment with the current comfort, she felt relief. This, the new world, turned out to be much more convenient, her former life. She hugged herself tightly, praying that she wasn't kicked out. Roel desperately wanted to stay here in the comfort and warmth, where she first was, calmly. The morning found her taken by surprise. The sun is already high, and she all haven't gotten up yet. Frightened to be late, girl rushed to get ready for a new day. Roel woke up in a panic, realizing that overslept her covers, feeling guilt. After all, she too much relaxed, losing control of time. Into the room, Siren the Duchess enters, with a warm smiling, noting that Roel finally woke up. Her presence gives calmness and confidence. Roel embarrassedly apologizes for waking up too early. It's late. She feels myself awkward in front of the Duchess, who doesn't seem to be angry. Siren softly assures Roel that she woke up on time. Her kindness and calmness, they take it off the girl alarm, making it clear that everything is fine. The Duchess proposes prepare for the walk, noting that ahead there is waiting many affairs. Roel is being asked question about what maybe go speech. The Siren explains that speech. It's about shopping, causing Roel bewilderment and curiosity. Girl getting ready for something new and unusual. Walking through the bustling town of Katia, Roel admires its beauty and atmosphere, feeling myself part something grandiose. They are in the store are greeted with joy. Attention is directed to Roel, that a little confuses her, but she begins get used to being cared for. Serena declares that she came to buy a dress for Roel the girl. I'm surprised and flattered by such attention, for the first time feeling myself important. Roel realizes how many kindness and care the Duchess gives her. This day becomes the beginning of a new life for her chapter's life. Roel timid and gentle. The girl surprised Duchess Serena with her fragile appearance, not corresponding the age she was told about previously. The Duchess noted that the clothes prepared for Roel are not suitable at all, so it was decided to update the girl's wardrobe, taking into account her complexion. Siren sent Roel at the fitting preparing new clothes, while showing care and trying, choose the best for a girl. In progress, Siren's choice with her characteristic confidence decisively pointed out fabrics and styles that could emphasize Grace Roel. Roel tried it on the new outfit that Serena picked out, especially for her. The outfit turned out to be exquisite perfect, emphasizing her sophistication. Siren noticed that Roel looks like great in new dress at the same time, like always slightly reproaching. Previous flaws, choice clothes. Surrounded soft light, Siren and Roel experienced a special moment, captured in a mirror reflecting their warmth and connection. Roel admitted that she was very like new dress. She felt myself beautiful, thanks attention and effort Duchesses. Siren did compliment, noting that it's not a dress, does Roel beautiful, and her natural beauty that manifests itself in everyone details. Serena thought that updated outfits they still demand more improvements to fully correspond Grace Roel, having called Easy Smile. The Siren calms Roel, promising call famous designer from Capitals to help with the choice outfit that causes the girl lung astonishment. Serena, taking Roel by the hand, leads her away. Take her further to the shops, decisively determined to find everything necessary. Roel slightly confused. The Siren gives Roel boxes with gifts, calling their sign of greeting. Roel embarrassed, and clearly not used to such attention. Roel is trying refuse, considering the gifts too expensive. But Serena insistently interested. Really, Lee? She doesn't like them. Roel internally, she worries thinking about what it costs her express gratitude, though she feels awkwardness because of expensive gifts. The Siren is not happy, quality gifts and demands best. Situation accepts slightly what a comical turn of phrase surprising surrounding. Roel clutching the gifts assures that she likes them. Serena is happy this recognition and smiles, feeling satisfaction. Siren offers continue shopping. Roel obediently follows her though, feels easy fatigue from intensity walks. Watching the servant carry numerous packages, Roel notices that earlier, always was engaged in this myself. Siren gently beret Roel by the hand, noticing how niece take a walk together. Girls smile at each other, and their walk continues. Roel, with worry in his eyes, listens to the Siren, who has divided news about dangerous attack on them paths. View. The girls are full of excitement. Siren, with serious expression faces, clarifies that she was not injured. Lee Roel, emphasizing danger, experienced situations. Girl answers carefully. Roel tells that knights with honor defended her, and the young ones her same rushed to help, which brought her a feeling security. Siren calmed down. With a story, he thanks fate for the fact that all ended well. She assures Roel what all under control. Siren gently concerns faces. Roel consoling her girl. It is admitted that such cases, it's rare that add situations drama. Siren mentions the name of the Duchy of Hickorel and sets Roel. The question is how many she knows about his past. This causes the girl is interested. Roel lowering his head regretfully, it is admitted that her knowledge limited. She worries because of his ignorance. The Siren was surprised, and a little mockingly reacts to recognition Roel, but adds that it's not about the girl, but about the man himself Duchy. Roel, with curiosity, asks why Serena thinks so. Conversation takes place against the backdrop of a bright sky and a lively cities. Siren mysteriously smiles and promises that soon Roel herself will understand what it is about. His coming speech, intrigue hangs in the air. Roel, with hope, thinking about returning his own family husband and son. In the distance, it glows warm sunset, hinting at things to come changes. Siren carefully offers Roel go to the restaurant to eat. They walk along busy streets, decorated flowers, and sunshine light. The city is full of rumors about the family of Duke Hickorel. These stories surrounded secret and exciting imagination. but not all of them are true. Roel remembers Salvation, Mr. Hikarlom, whose severity hides kindness. His image in battle as if personifies strength and protection. People call Hikarila icy, a knight without emotions. But against the backdrop of this image, the siren radiates warmth, opening Roeli new feelings. For the first time, Roel meets such a kind and compassionate person as Serena. This comparison awakens dreams and hope in her. Serena relates to Roel with a motherly love, as if to a family member, daughters. But inside, Roel feels that she must know her own place. Roel faces the unexpected, the situation in the tavern. Her sight persistent, but thoughts full anxiety. The man sitting at the table looked dismissive. Leads myself without noticing Roel. Her request only intensifies his ridicule. Mocking laughter sounds around, but Roel doesn't give up. Her endurance becomes a symbol of inner forces ready for new ones. Challenges. Roel squeezes the money that Duchess Serena gave her, feeling their huge significance. Its thoughts fill with awe and gratitude. The man treats Roel roughly, snatching her money. His disdain and harshness cause fear and despair in the girl. The man mercilessly grabs Roel's hand, causing her pain. Her screams break the silence, but around no one is in a hurry. Help. Siren intervenes to protect Roel. Her sudden appearance causes surprise and fear in the man, causing him to loosen his grip. Strong and confident, Siren makes a man let go, Roel. Her determination and a stern look inspire to him real horror. The man is trying resist, but the Duchess prevails victory. He loses balance and falls, causing shock to those around him. The siren calms Roel, pressing her to yourself. Her softness and kindness awaken in the girl feeling security. The Duchess assures Roel now everything is fine. Her confidence and warmth fill girl feeling peace. Siren with a smile reminds Roel she no longer alone. The Duchess's warmth personifies for a girl new protected life. Roel faces a sudden threat, realizing her vulnerability. She swears never cause harm, kind Duchess Siren. After complex Siren with care and gentleness helps in situations, Roel return home, even offering help despite its emotions. Life in Roel's new home seems incredible. Her surrounds luxury to which she's not used to it, including a room full exquisite outfits. New life brings changes. Appearance. Roel becomes more healthy and round. She looks in the mirror, admiring your own transformation. Despite being full, Siren continues worry that Roel doesn't eat enough, surrounding himself her care for every one meal. Overeating leads Roel to indigestion, and the alarmed Siren shows unprecedented worry that deep touches heart girls. To establish communication with the servants, Roel tries to speak more simply, though this at first it seems uncomfortable to her, but soon all is getting better. Warm food and walks help Roel finds harmony. She finally begins get used to a calm and measured life. In minutes, unrest. Roel is secretly engaged. Cleaning finding in this. Your own consolation, for now she is not noticed. Household members. Despite her secret attempts, the Duchess again discovers Roel with a broom, reproaching her with kindness. Smile that fills the day with warmth. Roel is surprised to see that housemaid again is engaged in cleaning. She tries find out the reason and offers help that confuses the maid. Housemaid persistently asks, Roel won't be taken away from her work, expressing respect and devotion. Despite the good intentions, girls. Roel offers maid take a walk and visit training ground. Offer causes joy and readiness. Accompany her. They arrive at the training ground where Roel oversees the knights of the duchy, most from which follow them, Mr. The knights give a warm welcome, Roel sincerely expressing respect and admiration. This causes her lung confusion. One of knights with special trepidation and embarrassment greets Roel at the time. How her smile melts hearts present. Knights joyfully welcome Roel, admiring her kindness and light energy that inspires them for support. Roel thanks knights for their devotion and politeness, interested their names, that more strengthens their respect. Subordinates. They are starting excessively enthusiastically express their feelings, but the strict commander interrupts so as not to scare them. Roel. Knights apologize for their behavior, demonstrating touching devotion and sincerity. Roel with warmth accepts their apologies. Roel scared with a loud sound, she justifies herself to Keplin, claiming that she was simply hiding from the unexpected noise. Her voice trembles, but she tries look confidently. Kaplan, with good-natured smiling, interested, examined Roel Castle. His friendliness causes her small relief, but tension remains. He talks about training Polygon, where Duke Roel is training, looks at the space filled with knightly accessories, amazed at its grandeur. Kiplan continues explaining that in the castle, many knights equal Imperial Roel, impressed there with strength and power. Her sight permeated admiration. Suddenly, someone hides behind a column watching them. Roel notices this one figure and tries call over her, but she quickly runs away, leaving the girl as confused. Approaches worried condition Roel. The girl trying calm down, trying explain to her that happened, but her thoughts, all more confused. Kaplan assures Roel what all under control, explaining that the sound announces the Duke's arrival. The girl is worried, but her simultaneously, I'm overcome with awe. Duke Hickarel comes out to parade. His majestic figure and stern look resembles a statue from the center of the capital. Roel is enchanted by its appearance. Remembering the rumors, Roel notes that the Duke and Duchess's faces have not changed for 10 years. Thoughts anxious, and she begins suspect that they are not people. In her consciousness arises frightening thought. The Duke and his entourage can be vampires. This conclusion causes her inner trepidation and fear. Roel with concern. She looks at Aslan kneeling before her. He asks if she has offended her lady, her Duchess showing her concern. Roel, blinking in surprise, replies that the Duchess always was kind to her. Aslan with a glance evaluates her words as if seeking the truth. Into the room, Siren enters, tearing tense scene. Her stern tone evokes, Roel is confused, but Aslan continues, keep confidently. The Siren calms Roel, assuring that their time together, it went great, girl. All more looks like, confused by the attention. Suddenly appears Hickarel, his look focused on Roel. The atmosphere instantly becomes tense, and Serena looks on in surprise. Hickarel fits closer, and suspiciously looks at the girl. His voice is full of disbelief when he calls her name, confirming their suspicions. Roel greets the Duke in fear, introducing himself officially. Her voice trembles, and her gaze gives out confusion before his severity. Hickarel grabs Aslan by the clothes, reproaching him for his thoughtless actions. Their argument escalates into an emotional collision. The Siren calms Hickarela, urging not to go too far. Maid carefully takes away Roel to safety place. Siren interrogates Aslan about his involvement in the attack on Roel's carriage site, becomes cold, pointing at her suspicions. Siren, annoyed, looked at the silent Aslan, who remained cold and unperturbed. She felt that to him as if nothing say. Serena realized that her son so calm and unperturbed that even if the world were to collapse at that moment, he wouldn't even blink an eye. Against the backdrop of flowering lilies, Roel looks like thoughtful and innocent. She seems unaware of the plans surrounding her fate. Siren, pay attention. Looking at Aslan, she thought about his silence. I realized that we'll only find out the truth if he decides everything for her, himself tell. Remembering events past, Serena spoke about the unexpected Aslan's visit when he came to her and Hickarel with an important conversation. I counted. This strange because Aslan rarely asked for something. However, his request caused surprise because speech. It was about something serious decision. Hickarel asked about the reason visit, and Aslan, gathering his courage, announced that wants to get married, then shocked their own parents. Siren and Hickarel reacted violently, exclaiming in bewilderment. They demanded explanations and clarified who exactly he was going to marry. Aslan confidently named Roel Lintia. Girls from families, Viscount Lintia, what more surprised parents. The Siren expressed indignation, recalling that he had previously rejected all offers. She added that about the Viscountcy Lintia, they haven't even heard of it. Aslan is speaking against decisions that apply to him. Impose his red eyes full anger and determination. He internally swears not to give in. He unexpectedly gets down on one knee, then causes shock to those around him. His actions seem unexpected, but they have hidden meaning. Aslan, with a serious expression, states that wants link your fate with a lady, Linthius. His request sounds decisively and weightily. Without thinking, he kneels before the Duchess Siren and Duke Hickarel. Despite his pride, he is ready donate all for the sake of their own goals. Serena and Hickarel agree to his request, but put forward condition. They require eliminate unrest in the border area zone to prove his determination. Aslan accepts challenge, demonstrating complete obedience to orders. Causes surprise to everyone who observes what is happening. Aslan goes on a dangerous journey to execute task. He acts with determination, although the hunt takes less time than expected. Returning to the duchy, he brings with him victory-covered blood. His gaze reflects how fatigue as well as pride in what was accomplished assignment. The siren watches Aslan with bewilderment. Not understanding why he is so stubborn goes to his goals. In her thoughts is born-set questions. Roel worries about his own in the future. She feels afraid to be rejected by the Duke, thinking about how other will react to the disclosure, her secrets. Roel, tormented feeling uselessness, thoughtfully immerses himself in his thoughts, holding her hands on her chest. She looks like confused and vulnerable. At the door, there is a knock and the maid announces that Duke Hikarl causes her into the office. Scared Roel reluctantly agrees. Roel led butler slowly. She approaches the massive doors of the Duke's office, feels increasing voltage. The Duke commands to let her in. His voice sounds imperiously and coldly. Roel timidly enters the hall, suppressing fear. Hikarel, in a strict suit, looks at her with a stern expression, faces and gestures invitingly sit down. The atmosphere seems oppressive. There are items on display on the table, exquisite treats, but the tension does not go away. The Duke demands from Roel, relax, adding a touch of irony. Roel takes the cup of tea with difficulty. Her hands are shaking. She confused and afraid. Do something is wrong, but he's trying. Look calmly. The Duke with irritation watches her behavior. Roel clearly does not live up to his expectations. Her indecision only irritates him more. The Duke unexpectedly asks question about her age, clearly doubting her maturity. This confuses Roel and calls her nervousness. In the end, he tries find out threatened. Has anyone shown her their hidden side before? Concern. However, his gloomy tone only strengthens voltage. Roel frightened froze in a tense expression. Environment. Her look and awkwardness transmit internal fight, like as if she is trying, gather your courage. Hikarl boils with rage, threatening. His words are permeated indignation that someone dared influence Roel money. He seethes, clenching his fists. Hikarl is trying, convince Roel, give up dangerous missions. He insists that this is not a place for fragile girls. Roel remains thoughtful. Roel, clasping his hands, accepts solution. Restraining emotions, she asks not to send her back. It is clear that choice it was uneasy for her. Hikarl is confused. He doesn't seem to be prepared for such an answer. His confusion shows how much unexpected there was a turn of events. Aslan suddenly appears. His appearance amazes everyone. Hikarel and Roel, stunned. Aslan's expression conveys determination and strength. Aslan, seething with anger, demands explanations. His look full of reproach emphasizes voltage between him and Hikarel. Hikarl can't understand why Aslan is interfering. Aslan claims that his presence necessary, strengthening conflict. Roel confused between two men. She doesn't know how to cope with the pressure that is on her, provide their clashes and tensions. Aslan watches Roel, enchanted her appearance. He reflects on the rumors that previously I heard, but now seeing her purity and innocence, understands that she really amazing and attractive. Aslan remembers false rumors that circulated about his scars, caused by envy of his appearance. His eyes full hidden pain, but he decides not to pay attention to the past, focusing on the present. Hikarel confronts Aslan and Roel sarcastically, pointing to innocent girls. Aslan responds coldly, defending Roel's honor, but Hikarel continues tease him, provoking voltage. Hikarel comes out from himself, hitting the table in rage, shouting about the fact that Aslan's behavior is shameless. Roel gets scared, sharp shifts mood. Her face expresses confusion and fear. Hikarel accuses Aslan of intending to marry such a woman, young to the girl, comparing her with a doll. His tone is sharp and his gestures aggressive. Aslan retains calm despite the growing conflict. Aslan firmly declares his intentions that causes more big rage. Hikarela. His words seem to everyone around unexpected that enhances the drama of what is happening. Roel stunned disclosure situations. Her face expresses mixture surprise and confusion. She didn't expect hear such words that they force her doubt your own feelings and actions. Hikarl reflects out loud that the idea of marriage for the first time was suggested by Aslan himself. He puts the condition that until adulthood, Roel no weddings. It can't be emphasizing his power. Roel, feeling increasing pressure, answers uncertainly. Her words reflect her embarrassment and desire. Figure out what's going on. The atmosphere in the room remains tense. Hikaru orders take care of training Roel too. She corresponded to the status. She humbly agrees, demonstrating your own respect and willingness. Follow established rules. Roel, a girl with white hair and purple. With his eyes, he reflects on his future and realizes what lies ahead of her work with a new tutor, what evokes mixed feelings in her feelings. Hikaru, a man with red with his eyes. He offers Roel rest and change clothes to tune in to important changes in your life. Girl thanks him with sincere gratitude, devotion. In the room, Aslan, a guy with dark hair and red eyes, is present eyes. His stern and cold sight forces everyone in the room tense up. He reminds that he has their priorities. Aslan shows unexpected care offering to walk Roel to her rooms. Despite the coldness, his actions hint at hidden sympathy or debt to the girl. Duke Hikaru, after some thoughtfully agrees with Aslan's proposal. His expression gives out fatigue and possibly hidden concerns about the future, their own wards. Aslan and Roel, they are starting dialogue alone. He suddenly offers walk that leads. The girl was confused. She clearly didn't expect such a turn of events. Realizing that Roel confused Aslan, clarifies your own offer. Go out for a short while on fresh air. Its softness at this moment emphasizes hidden kindness behind the mask. Coldness. Roel, confused and doubtful, asks herself question, shouldn't Will Aslan return to his own responsibilities? However, he assures her that nothing bad will happen. Young woman understands that Duke Hikaru maybe not to be delighted with this initiatives, but she doesn't want to refuse such unusual at Aslan's request. Aslan, seeing her indecision, leaves. The choice is Roel's. In his eyes, readable hidden care that creates voltage between debt and personal desires. Roel embarrassedly looked at Aslan, who suddenly approached her, astonishment mixed with confusion, but she did not find the strength to object. Remembering recent events, Roel thanked Aslan for his help. Her sincerity shone in the eyes, showing how much she, I am grateful. Aslan politely asked, there was none. Does she have it? Inconveniences in the duchy. There was a hint of care that makes Roel feel myself comfortable. She confidently assured that all it was wonderful, sunny garden around, emphasized their warmth conversation and strengthened their connection. With gratitude in Roel's voice, mentioned care with sides, duchesses causing Aslan to slightly smile and restrain reply that he is glad about it here. Worried Roel, I finally decided to do it. Ask Aslan a challenging question. Her excitement, it was evident in the words, and he carefully listened. The question of why he chose her made him for a moment think about it. Warm light around emphasized his concentration. Aslan replied that this connected with the promise he made once upon a time. Roel, with curiosity, I tried to understand who it was, for promise was given. With sadness in his voice, he mentioned that the reason was no longer only this. His look reflected internal changes. Aslan proposed to her to become officially engaged when she will become of legal age. This confession stunned Roel, leaving her on the brink of emotions. Roel, fragile, a girl with white hair and purple with eyes, with excitement listens to what is offered to her. Go out, get married after coming of age. She shyly lowers look, realizing importance. Moment. Her reaction interrupts a sharp cry. On Roel's face reflected surprise and alarm. Someone decisively intervenes in the situation, creating feeling unresolved conflict. A young guy with golden hair and blue eyes, with eyes clearly excited, with tears and anger, loud declares his disagreement with this marriage. His cry expresses deep personal experiences. Before Roel, a guy with dark hair, Aslan, appears. Their views meet behind in the shadows. A golden-haired guy is trying to hide their emotions, but Roel notices his confusion. The golden boy runs away. Aslan notices this, but advises Roel don't pay attention to him. Attention. She is trying to realize happening, feeling internal anxiety. Roel wonders why this guy was so excited. Her mind is filled with thoughts about his reaction and what could have caused it such feeling injustice. Roel, she remembers Aslan's words about his younger brother, is being asked. The question is to what extent they were close and how. This connected with their current communication. Aslan, although he retains external coldness, confirms that he was younger brother. He asks how Roel got along with him, emphasizing their personal history. Roel recalls that the relationship with Aslan's younger brother was detached. Despite this, she feels that there was something between them, some kind of invisible connection. Images from past show that Aslan's younger brother was relative's son, Viscountess, as opposed to adopted Roel. They hardly interacted, but his silent presence left a mark on her life. Roel, with sadness and tension in his eyes, ponders until Aslan appears next to him. He notices her worry and be careful, wondering if everything is okay with her. His gaze executed worries and concerns. Roel, in response, apologizes embarrassedly. Turning away, her cheeks turn slightly pink. Aslan stands nearby, his strict but soft. The gaze does not move away from her, adding calm but tense atmosphere. Aslan approaching, Roel admits that he never received answer to your question. His voice is full of determination, and his expression faces shows mixture tenderness and persistence. Roel with surprise asks again about what answer is coming, speech. Her big eyes are filling up anxiety. Aslan, as if having collected all courage, he says something that forces her freeze. Roel is being poured with paint, embarrassedly exhaling. She finally answers consent, although her words are quiet and a little awkward. Her face is on fire. Emotions are clearly overwhelming her. Aslan offers to take Roel to her rooms. They walk side by side, their steps sounding in the silence garden, filled soft with light and aromas of flowers, creating almost fairy tale setting. Against the backdrop of blooming, the garden couple looks refined. Roel, with tender smile and light uncertainty in movement. Aslan is stately and confident, his gaze remains focused on her. At the door of his own rooms, Roel thanks Aslan for accompanying her. She slightly opens door. Her eyes express mixture gratitude and embarrassment. Aslan silently nods, leaving her at peace. Roel is alone in the forest. Her sight froze on the berry bushes. Suddenly, Aslan appears in the dark armor, his sword at the ready, and in his eyes, mixture surprise and suspicion. Aslan, noticing Roel, is amazed her presence in such place. Her fragile appearance in the surroundings, wild nature, enhances the contrast with his dark image. Roel, a girl with white hair, notices Aslan, a gloomy figure in the forest. A young man with her eyes. He asks if he has lost his way, whether he is out of the way, but his short answer and tense sight make it clear that something is bothering him. Roel stretches out to him a handful of bright berries and offers try it. Her Aslan is struck by the simple kindness and is surprised looks at her as if not understanding why she does this. Girl sincerely smiles and declares that wants share the berries, her. It's hard not to notice the light and warmth makes Aslan look at her with a new eye sides. Aslan warns Roel that forest is very dangerous and clearly worried her presence. Here, his voice is strict, but in it audible a concern that does not escape the girl. Coming soon threat. From shadows appear monsters surrounding them. Aslan stands before Roel, ready any at a price, protect her from the impending dangers. Young man understands that enemies possess ability, except human appearance. He is aware seriousness situation, but his determination did not waver despite the numerical superiority opponents. One of monsters mockingly claims that it will easily break the girl into pieces. Aslan responds with a cold rage. His confidence inspires awe, even in this situations. Monsters, they're trying to intimidate Aslan by saying that he will become a toy. But his adamant look clearly shows that he has no intention. Give in to that would no happened. It begins a fierce battle. Aslan, using all his skills, protects Roel. His swift movement and courage allow you to hold your ground despite the fury of enemy attacks. After Aslan's victories, barely hiding, tired turns to Roel. Her eyes filled with gratitude and admiration, and her sincerity and light illuminate even dark forest, inspiring hope. The battle rages on attack on Aslan. His opponent, full of malice, attacks with force, wanting finish him off. Aslan, despite his wounds, fights Iso with all my strength. However, situation becomes all more critical. Roel is horrified, watches the fight from afar. Her eyes filled with tears, when she realizes that Force's enemy surpass Aslan's abilities. Panic captivates her, and she screams from helplessness. Aslan, weakened, turns out surrounded dark figures. He understands that these creatures incredible are dangerous, and he can't cope alone. In his head flicker thoughts about protection. Roll any price. Roel, trembling, comes out from forests, but then it becomes victim attacks. One of enemies enough, her by the throat, leaving her defenseless. Her scream echoed spreads throughout the forest, tearing apart Aslan's heart. Captive Roel is trying break free, but the attacker only grins, enjoying himself her suffering. For Aslan, this becomes last one drop by drop. He collects latest strength to save her. The enemy, without expecting resistance, releases Roel out of hand, but decides retreat, declaring that his goal not yet achieved. He leaves with a threat promising to return. From depths forests, a man with white hair appears, full determination and strength. It calms Roel, pressing. She comes to him and assures him that now she is safe. The man assures Roel what all okay, and she's no longer in any danger. He promises protect her any at a price. His care and kindness are evoked. The girl's tears. Aslan, waking up, looks at what is happening with alarm and relief. He understands that the man with white hair is theirs, new defender. But that's it, more wary. In the warmth of Roel's cozy home, joyfully reports his own mother that Aslan came to his senses. Now they all together, and a new day promises be the beginning of something better. Roel lived in seclusion hut on the edge of the forests, together with loving parents. Their life was filled with warmth and care. One day their peace violated stranger, whom they accepted with compassion. Dark-haired Aslan, wounded and weakened, remained in their house. For a while, recovery, Roel helped take care of him. There the conversations became more and more warmer, and friendship began to emerge, despite their differences. Father Roel looked at Aslan with caution and distrust, but refrained from asking questions. Aslan felt that it's not time, yet reveal his identity, and decided, keep their secrets. Roel ran to Aslan with joy and trepidation, holding a wreath in her hands, which I made it myself. Her eyes shone happiness, and at that moment she seemed personification, purity and sincerity, kindness. Aslan looked at the smiling Roel, also recalled how I always tried to give him a gift. Joy. These moments warmed his soul, awakening in him. Warm feelings long forgotten. The days spent with Roel became the quietest and happiest for Aslan in a long time years. Time filled his life with a peace he had not experienced for so long. In search of Roel, Aslan took a risk to everyone, hiding your own true face. Having become a mercenary, he went out onto the bloody battlefields, hoping to find her among chaos, war, and despair. All his efforts did not lead to any results. Instead, Aslan found answers only burning ruins and complete absence traces. Roel and her family, that left in his heart painful emptiness. He began to guess that all this time, Roel may have lived in terrible conditions by the authorities, Viscount. This thought only strengthened his determination to save her any price. Among darkness and chaos, Aslan finally saw Roel. Her face expressed fear and confusion, and in Aslan's heart, a flame flared up, insurmountable. Wish protect her from the whole world. Roel lost consciousness, but Aslan gently raised her in his arms, full of determination to protect and save her, despite the dangers and pain that accompanied him at every step. Hugging Roel, Aslan felt that for the first time in a long time, 5 years, he is alive again. This meeting filled his soul with the light that he missed it so much. Aslan gently takes Roel's hand, promising to become hers. Protection and support, his eyes full determination, and in their touch, readable the trust and strength he is willing to give. Give it to her at any time. Aslan drops to one knee in front of Roel, protecting her and swearing more, never lose. He is sincere, and the light falling on their figures emphasizes emotionality's moment. The servant reports Roel about the visit and recovers excitement. Feeling myself, she hesitated, tries pull myself together, but her nerve, they give out trembling fingers that someone is trying, calm down. Roel is being prepared to meet with the teacher chosen by the Duke. Her heart shrinks with anxiety, but she takes a step forward, wanting justify expectations and show myself worthy. She worries that error, maybe undermine the Duke's reputation. Doubts torment her, and the fear of possible failure is reflected in her tense gaze and internal monologues. In conversation with maid, Roel realizes that a lot in her knowledge was formed through observation. Her internal, the desire to become better faces, uncertainty. Roel recalls how the Duchess was interested in her studies. The girl was afraid to admit that almost I didn't learn anything and felt myself not enough prepared for this role. The maid encourages Roel, assuring that she has the talent and ability to become outstanding student. These words give her a spark confidence and fill her soul with hope. Inspired by support, Roel promises to make every effort to be proud of herself and become worthy. Her eyes light up determination, and the posture gives away new inner strength. Before Roel, the teacher sent by the Duke appears. She is experiencing excitement mixed with trepidation, realizing that this day will be the beginning of a new stage in her life. Surrounded exquisite flowers, Countess Kobelian, personifying elegance and strictness. Imperiousness appears before Roel. The girl tensely looks at her, understanding significance, upcoming acquaintance. Roel suddenly realizes that in front of her is the very same countess about whom the whole secular world says. Her heart shrinks with excitement and awareness. Responsibility adds awkwardness and fear. Impressive figure, Kobelian, appears against the backdrop of the doors. Her posture and confidence, they force. Roel bow respectfully trying hide excitement. Girl hopes produce worthy impression. The countess spoke softly, but with restraint, greets Roel. Her sight shrill and manners refined. Roel feeling myself small and insecure, struggling with an internal fear of doing error. The secular world is depicted like the field on which the countess plays key role. Anyone who wants to achieve success must deserve it approval. For Roel, this task seems almost unbearable. Viscountess Lintea, wanting to please the countess, sent her expensive gifts and letters. However, the gestures found no response. The countess returned all the gifts, then only strengthened voltage. The countess's refusal is devastating. Linthew was furious. Insulted she sees in actions. Kobelian challenge and his inability achieve her location. That only warms up her offense. Lintea takes out his anger on Roel, turning girl as a target for his own disappointments. Roel feels myself more vulnerable and helpless under this pressure. Over a cup, tea Roel Iso is trying his best, save composure. The countess watches her with barely noticeable. With a smile, her tone makes girl doubt your own abilities. Kobelian notices Roel's manners are flawed. Her words sound as a subtle reproach. Girl feels all the weight their own misses, but in her soul it is born determination, prove your strength. Roel, with sadness, tells that can only read and write, and the rest studied by observing others. Eyes full embarrassment. After all, she afraid that her ignorance will disappoint Countess Kobelian. Kobelian reflects on how her efforts can be in vain if Roel will leave. She maintains a stern appearance, mentors, and Roel, feeling pressure, promises make every effort not to let down her. Mentor turns to Roel, offering to repeat it. Movements girl looks with surprise and light, anxiously trying to understand what from her specifically required at this moment. The countess demonstrates how you need to maintain your posture, proudly straightening your back, and maintaining nobility movements, graceful, but in her a stern tone can be heard hidden, caring for his student. Kobelian explains how important it is to lightly smile but keep indifferent. Look, Roel confused, tries reproduce this pose, feeling myself uncertainly under intently, with a glance mentors. The countess majestically demonstrates ideal aristocratic appearance. Her confidence and charm emphasize her experience, and her words sound how challenge for Roel, who afraid of not living up to expectations. Roel brings apologies for my mistakes, but the countess points out that in this harsh world, it's not enough to just apologize. Her words make girl think about your own readiness for difficulties. Kobelian compares Roel with fragile, a chicken trembling from any touch. Sharpness, her words hurts the girl, but she tries not to show it, their own emotions, continuing. Listen instructions. Roel is overcome with panic, and mentally is being asked. The question is how to change your own behavior to please the countess. Her fear and insecurity are getting stronger. She feels myself absolutely lost. Despair captivates Roel. Her thoughts are spinning around one: how to make sure that the Countess wouldn't be angry with her anymore. The girl Iso is trying his best, be ideal student, but doubts torment her. Roel sat on the sofa in a depressed mood state, feeling that her knowledge etiquette-based observations alone proved insufficient. Her sadness literally enveloped the atmosphere of the room. She apologized to the Countess Cobalion for his shortcomings, realizing that delivers inconvenience. Roel. She was tense, her voice was trembling, but her words sounded sincere determination. Roel clenched her fists, pleading, "Give her a chance to improve." She promised that will invest all his strength if the Countess agrees to train her. Her sincerity was touching. The Countess noticing the excitement. Roel smiled softly and calmed girl asking, "Raise her head." She admitted that she could have accidentally scare Roel, "Your own behavior." They continued conversation over tea. The Countess noticing the interest, Roel noted that only what demonstrated a manner of behavior characteristic of Duchess Siren, famous his own severity. She said that Serena is really strict in little things and doesn't pay attention to other people's words. This has caused Roel an imaginary image of a confident and majestic duchesses. Enchanted by the image of Siren, Roel was delighted to imagine how the strict approach does her more impressive. This is inspired girl. The Countess reminded that Roel. Also, one should learn to be brave. After all, confidence is an integral part. Etiquette. This has caused Roel surprise, but also interest. The Countess emphasized that knowledge and manners should rely on internal confidence. Without it, any words and actions are losing your own charm, remaining empty. The Countess's confidence and kindness touched Roel. She felt support and motivation change, realizing that her path is only begins. Roel listened. Cobalion, sitting on the sofa. The Countess spoke of the cruelty of the world, warning that dangerous people everywhere. Girl felt growing fear, but also understood importance, preparation for these challenges. Cobalion talked about those who seems kind, but inside hides evil. She inspired Roel, the thought of necessity, be strong to stand firm and protect myself, remaining unwavering in the face difficulties. Roel thought about what was in her surroundings. There is kind and noble people like that, like the Duke and his family. Their care and support filled her with gratitude and desire. Respond in kind. The girl thought with warmth about how the Duke and his family show her kindness. She didn't know how to pay for it, but her heart filled up determination to become worthy their help. Roel imagined the moments when the Duke first turned his attention to her attention. These memories seemed romantic and inspiring her. Be it's better that justify their expectations and trust. Time passed, and Cobalion noticed that it was time to return. She soft reminded Roel on the importance of not putting things off decisions and be ready for the upcoming tests. Girl promised quickly return to the estate collecting things. She felt responsibility for ensuring that, to show his devotion and desire to learn from the Countess. Cobalion warned that the next lesson will be more difficult. Her sight expressed determination, help Roel reveal her potential, and prepare for the future difficulties. Roel, with respect, thanked the Countess for her care and lessons. She swore that will try Iso with all my strength to justify expectations his mentor. Cobalion said to Roel, "Call her teacher." These words became a symbol of their new connection, based on trust and willingness. Roel learn and grow under mentoring of the Countess. Roel, with shining smile, looked at her mentor. Cobalion, her eyes expressed sincere devotion and joy. The girl's words, full enthusiasm, melted the Countess's heart, reminding her of her long-lost tenderness. Countess suddenly, having felt wave tenderness, filled the room with the warmth of embarrassment. Her face turned red, and the heart was beating wildly. I could barely cope with the emotions that Roel called his own naive devotion. Left alone with your own inner thoughts, the Countess reflected on innocence, Roel. She was amazed how such a sweet and pure soul could appear in her life, evoking long-forgotten feelings, love and care. Holding a letter from an old friend, Cobalion, I thought about how difficult it was. Accept this assignment, I doubted he could lie. She will cope with training, so young girls relying on their strictness. Recalling her task, the Countess realized how difficult it was to re-educate teenager stubbornness, and pride. Roel became real challenge. But Cobalion was ready to make every effort for her future. Roel often committed mistakes in etiquette that prevented the Countess from teaching her calmly. However, correction old habits turned out to be more difficult than Kobylian expected, adding a note of disappointment to her perseverance. The Countess's thoughts wandered to how Roel found herself in the duchy. This circumstance seemed like a mystery to her, which she decisively intended to unravel, feeling that in this case hidden some kind of secret. The Countess realized that life in a duchy, where people are different from the ordinary ones, can be a challenge for Roel. Her concern for the future, the girls grew with each during the day, as well as concern for her spiritual state. She looked out the window, lost in thoughts, about how would protect Roel from the blow's fate. Her sight was full of anxiety, but also determination to become for the girl a reliable shield. Having decided act Kobylian, I promised myself to protect Roel. Her expression, the face became hard, and the inner fire again flared up, strengthening her wish. Be for a girl real protector. Roel, arriving at the new monastery, is amazed by her hospitality. Her meet the good Duke and Duchess, and friendly servants, that gives birth to hope for a cozy life in her sole future. Her attention attracts young Sir Hickarel. His stern look and gentle gesture awaken in Roel unclear feelings intertwined with excitement and anticipation. Soon, Roel interrupts butler Danyan, reporting that she has guests. His gentleness and respect for her make her feel myself important part of the new house. Danyan, with a smile, adds that on the same evening will take place family dinner, emphasizing significance her presence among families. This news unexpected for Roel. She delighted invitation. After all, such a gesture speaks about her acceptance in the new surroundings. Danyan clarifies that the dinner is organized specifically so that to greet Roel, emphasizes sincerity and warmth of new acquaintances. Roel, hearing about the family dinner, is overwhelmed with joy and excitement. She feels myself almost fabulous, the heroine in this a cozy and bright world. In another, two guests are enjoying part of the house calmly. They discuss absence Roel, expressing contempt and barely hidden gloating. A man with red hair reflects on the situation, noting her oddities that causes him suspicion and internal discomfort. The woman, not paying no attention to his words with disdain, clarifies what he means by demonstrating your own arrogance and skepticism. Family discusses strange a proposal from a duchy that decided to marry a girl from their kind. This an unexpected turn of events, occurs surprise after all family. I'm sure that young woman does not stand out in any way. One of members' families indicates that their status is more important than the reasons for the proposal. They focus on their own benefit, demonstrating cold attitude to the situation and awareness your own arrogance. When discussing the benefits of marriage, family discusses how can use new connection for your benefits. Their prudence and cynicism open up with frightening clarity. In this time, I remember younger sister Luna, who loved nature and was source joy. Her image full light and smiles sharply contrasts with the gloomy mood family advice. Since childhood, the main character experienced envy and anger towards the moon because all love parents received it. These feelings deeply rooted, leaving scars on the soul. The moon was dreaming, see the world, and one day ran away from home, leaving only a letter. For the narrator, this became a cause for joy, because rivalry suddenly, it's over. It's passed several years, and Luna returned to the house already ill. Despite the absence's warm feelings, her state caused pity. The child with whom she came, he reminded her herself. Later, short time, the moon passed away, leaving behind emptiness of myself. Her the bright and kind nature is gone, along with her, and the family felt heaviness losses. In his Luna left everything in her will property to the main character with a request, take care of the child. This gesture became unexpected manifestation, trust and love for the family. At the bank, they opened Luna's safe. It turned out to be full of jewelry and rare paintings. Her secret, the legacy, became the final gift that forever changed the fate of the family. Against the backdrop of the sunset sky stands girl Roel at the grave. Her the past is colored by pain and loss, but someone decides accept her under his care, despite the initial desire from her get rid of. Sight women are full of cunning and calculation. She believes that events fold into her benefit, seeing in the new situations an unexpected chance to strengthen your own position. The symbol of the Duchy of Hickarel is a wolf on a shield, which symbolizes power and wealth. The influence of the duchy is key element that maybe change destinies everyone participants' stories. Ominous smile, women reveals her true intentions. She perceives caring for Roel not as an act of mercy, but as the deal for which can demand payment. The young man sees himself in union with his family. Hickarel way achieve promotion. His gaze, full confidence, gives out greedy, the desire for success and power. The woman who instructed Roel before leaving hopes for obedience girls. She sees it as a tool that can bring money and new ones, benefits for the family. Roel appears in a beautiful blue dress, but I feel uncomfortable in this situation. Luxurious clothes, her innocence and uncertainty emphasize the contrast with the surrounding full hidden motives. Appears at the door a messenger announcing the arrival of the young gentleman. The approaching event promises new development. Plot tension is growing. Aslan suggests accompany Roel at a dinner party held in her honor. His look expresses care, but behind this maybe hides something greater than simple gallantry. Roel, darling, a girl with white hair, shyly stands against the backdrop of the evening light. She embarrassed, as if trying to find words to express their feelings or thought. The look is full of expectation. Duke Hickarel, with warm smile, invites Roel enter, expressing joy from her appearances. Siren Duchess, with a cold elegance, notices how dress Roel emphasizes her sophistication. Aslan young man with red with his eyes. He looks at Roel. The girl is embarrassed under his gaze, but still thanks him for his attention. Feeling easy, awkwardness from the unexpected meetings, Aslan suggests Roel sit next to him. Her embarrassment, it gets stronger, but she obediently follows proposal. Aslan's gaze becomes stern, showing his concern and hidden jealousy. Voltage increases when Hickarel starts arguing with Aslan. A conflict arises between them. A silent battle of glances, full hidden call. Roel, alarmed their hostility, offers with a touch of sarcasm, Roel, don't pay attention. Attention to the quarrel between men, and instead this join her. Her! A soft voice sounds confidently and encouragingly. Roel, with consent and light gratitude, occupies a place next to the siren. The Duchess carefully corrects her dress, creating an atmosphere of warmth and support. Aslan and Hickarel continue silent duel. Their views full of anger, as if every of them defends your right to be closer to Roel. The atmosphere becomes tense. Roel notices that the youngest member of the family is not present at the table. Her pensive sight reflects lung confusion. She is being asked question about his fate. Hickarel reveals personality, younger son explaining his absence. For Roel, this becomes unexpected, a discovery that forces her reconsider their previous impressions. Duchess Serena introduced her younger son, Girona. Duchess Roel. The young aristocrat is reserved, greeted guest, leaving impression, coldness, and arrogance. Roel slightly. She introduced herself to Heron nervously. However, his reaction was clearly dismissive, which made the girl feel myself uncomfortable. Heron Sharp expressed your own reluctance dinner, along with Roel demonstrating his hot-tempered nature. His gestures and intonation emphasized children's stubbornness. Aslan Heron's elder brother suddenly appeared in the darkness. His stern, the look and tense tone created an atmosphere of danger and discontent. Heron tried to justify himself, but his older brother interrupted. Aslan made it clear that behavior Heron is unacceptable, especially in relation to girls like Roel. Roel was worried that because of her maybe flare-up conflict between brothers girl, I was tormented internally trying to find a way stop quarrel. Aslan, looking at Roel, did unexpected statement, hinting that she may become the future bride. His words surprised everyone present. At dinner, Hickarel, the head of the family, approvingly observed the situation, but his expression was mockingly. Siren tried to soften the atmosphere by reminding to Heron about the importance dinner. During dinner, Father Girona asked Roel about her studies. The girl, embarrassed, said that the lesson with the Countess Kabelian was informative, and I liked it. Roel, smiling, thanked the Duke for his support. Her sincere joy and radiant smile warmed hearts all, despite recent tense moments. The siren, smiling, approves Roel, admiring her charm. She appears, how charismatic, Duchess, instantly. She is endearing to those around her. Sincerity adds lightness into the atmosphere. During joint dinner at the duchy, heroes are enjoying exquisite dishes. Siren preserves royal grace, tasting the dishes, and Haran and Hickrel, with enthusiasm, are discussing their culinary preferences. Roel feels long embarrassed to notice that her appetite in the spotlight. Her innocent reaction reveals her vulnerability, and Aslan looks nearby detached, but his gaze gives out hidden care. Roel reflects on how complicated the cook's job in such strict place and penetrates respect for the master's kitchens of the duchy. Her sincere interest reflects her modesty and kindness. When Roel thanks for the food, unexpected reaction gathered, causes a mixed storm of emotions. Their surprise and admiration create an atmosphere of lightness comedy, emphasizing her spontaneity. Hickrel expresses bewilderment, noticing how little Roel ate. His emotions are a mixture surprise and concern that adds drama in the scene. Roel answers with slight stubbornness. Aslan notices that Roel feeds on very modestly and asks the question is, what is the reason? Brings notes of empathy and care, strengthening his connection with the heroine. Roel, it is admitted that I'm used to small ones. Portions because of her difficult past, revelation of famine. In the Viscounty adds depths her image and emphasizes the strength of her spirit. Siren, restrainedly, advises not to put pressure on Roel in matters food, reminding her how hard it was at the beginning. Her care and wisdom, they do her an authoritative character. Hickrel's stunned fragility, Roel his gaze full of worry. His shock and the Duke's reaction demonstrate how heroin affects everyone around your own in a bright way. Aslan carefully is preparing table for a festive occasion, family dinner, immersed in his thoughts. He hopes that evening will pass without incident, thinking about the possible on a walk after dinner to all comprehend. Roel, with a charming with determination, declares that is going to more. A little eat. Her innocent and inspired appearance contrasts with her appetite, emphasizing her spontaneity. Duke Hickrel and Duchess Sirena, with smiles, are watching Roel. They offer her a dish prepared especially for her in the hope to call a girl joy and gratitude. The siren is sounding Roel huge baked bird girl. Confused looks at her, but immediately pushes her towards food. Heron to together enjoy meal, causing him mixed feelings. Roel calls Gerona share a meal with her radiating friendliness. The guy is confused and puzzled, trying to figure out how to properly respond to her unexpected initiative. Hickrel and Serena are surprised how such angelic child like Roel ended up in their house. The Duchess is holding back myself so as not to show too much stormy emotions. Over the past week, stay Roel in the duchy. Her mother begins worry due to lack of news. This causes tension among representatives. The Duke's family. Hickrel reflects on how his marriage led to difficulties and additional responsibilities. He experiences contradictory feelings, remembering the situation in families. Roel receives a letter from his mother, who reminds her of the importance respect for the family, and hope that girl remains faithful, your own to relatives despite the changes. At the end, the letter is handed over Hickrelu. He carefully reads it, immersed in thoughts about how to proceed further, so that save balance in the family and protect Roel. Duke Hickrel gave orders to his men to find out about the situation, girls having learned that she was treated in the Viscounty cruelly. His concern increased when he began to suspect hidden circumstances. The girl while in the chambers tried to recover. However, it was obvious that her problems go beyond physical injuries, and her state caused serious anxiety among those around. The maids who looked after the girl said that her body covered multiple bruises that confirmed Hickrel's suspicions. His anger grew as opened up terrifying details. The doctor reported that there are no serious injuries, but the body girls weakened due to lack of food and constant violence. These words finally confirmed the Duke in his intention to sort out the situation. Young woman begged not to return her back, that more aggravated the atmosphere. Her tears and pleas filled room, despair, forcing each think about her in the future. Hickrel, despite the current situation accepted solution consult with Aslan. The Duke understood that his opinion will be needed for the decision important solutions. Aslan was summoned to the Duke to discuss a letter that had arrived from Viscount Silentia. Their talk concerned what to do next in relation to girls. Aslan felt a sense of relief while reading the letter, mistrust and coldness determination. His thoughts were racing, but he was firm, intended to understand who carries responsibility for what happened. The letter only increased suspicions, confirming facts about that young woman was subjected to bullying. Aslan realized that case requires immediate actions. The Duke and Aslan discussed the fate of the girl. Their dialogue became culmination, where it was decided that the truth would be revealed and the guilty will bear punishment. Aslan, in an exquisite red and gold suit, coldly confirms something standing in a room illuminated sunset light. You can read it on his face. Restraint and his calm confidence reflects that he is completely controls situation. Duke Hickrel, with displeasure, remembers events past. Its scarlet eyes are burning rage. He suspects that his opponent knows more than says, and this generates in it internal fight. He's ready to act. Aslan sharply turning around, he hears Hickrel's words. He doubts his motives. Question sounds. How challenge? Indeed, whether his decision is it related to pity? At this moment, the tension between them reaches its apogee. Aslan reports the request he received, leaving Hickrela is shocked. His face expresses mistrust and confusion. Every word Aslan says intensifies intrigue, forcing Hickrela wonder questions. The Duke asks about Origen's requests, and Aslan cold-bloodedly answers that she came from her father, Lady Roel. These words make Hickrela strain, awakening in him suspicions of secrets past. Hickarl with irony indicates that Father Roel is long dead. His words are thrown shadow doubts about the truth. Aslan's statements. However, his tense posture and intent sight show that he is not ready retreat. Aslan's memories reveal a picture of his childhood Roel. She was stranger in his own family, but her mystery origin adds, drama broken glass and roses symbolize her difficult fate. Aslan, immersed in his thoughts, makes it clear that he will not bow to someone's demands. His determination is reflected in confidence pose and burning scarlet eyes. Hickrel is being asked question about the past. Roel trying to understand her true history and connection with Aslan. This question torments him, pushing him to search answer. Aslan, leaving abruptly, warns the Duke not to destroy family Viscount Linta. His words sound, how threat and on Hickrela's face freezes mixture anger and surprise. Aslan, full determination, promises that he will cope with the situation himself. His look expresses anger and firmness, hinting at serious intentions. The tone of tension in the room strengthens his determination. Morning brings to the estate unexpected news. Messenger from imperial families personally arrives to hand over important message that causes disturbing expectation among those present. Duke Hickrel conveys to Aslan an invitation to a banquet from the emperor. The atmosphere becomes more official, and the words of Hickrela emphasize importance this events. Hickarl reminds Aslan of his words that he will be able on one's own to figure out what was happening. His stern look pushes Aslan to prove his readiness for action. Aslan accepts challenge. His determination intensifies. In his eyes, the fire of aspiration is reflected, show that he is worthy, trust, and will be able to fulfill all promised. Countess Cobelian causes Roel giving her directions. Roel, a little frightened and surprised, obediently responds by demonstrating respect for the mentor. Roel learns that the messenger is from Palace, arrived with an invitation to a banquet at the Imperial Palace. This is news forces her heart get tucked away faster, after all similar event, not from her ordinary life. She begins worry, not believing that her can invite to such significant event. Her eyes full surprise and light panic. She squeezes medallion, trying realize heard. Countess with a smile confirms her status as the young master's fiancée. Hickrela, encouraging Roel. Her words emphasize significance. Roel in the events and its role in the upcoming reception. The young Countess Roel, refused on an ordinary day, would be from the invitation, but the arrival personal envoy of the Emperor forces accept participation. Cobelian notices interest imperial families to Roel, surprising her his own directness. Cobelian instructs Roel, emphasizing her importance and status. The girl stunned what's happening, trying to understand how this will change her life. Their talk happens in strict atmosphere. Cobelian interested preparation. Roel asking if she had studied, she secular dancing. Girl confused answers, realizing their gaps in education that confuses her more stronger. Next question concerns etiquette at banquets. Having realized that Roel doesn't have such knowledge, Kobelian shows discontent, and Roel herself is experiencing awkwardness, losing confidence. Roel begins realize that flaw preparation, maybe affect reputation her family. Her covers excitement, and in my head, sounds only question. What do? Kobelian supports Roel, putting his hand on her shoulder. Her words inspire confidence in the girl, reminding that all can fix. The atmosphere is a bit softens. Kobelian decisively declares that from this day on, it will begin special training for Roel. The Countess's stern tone shows her serious intention. Prepare the girl to a new stage. Imperial Castle, Kalios immerses himself in the beauty of blooming gardens. Meanwhile, a letter sent to the duchy is being discussed, causing intrigue and speculation about refusal. Emperor Kalios, in calm manner, explains their actions, hinting at complex relationships between dynasties. He, however, retains confidence in one's own positions. The crown prince asks question about the reasons for interest the emperor to the family. Hikarel. His words are emphasized thin policy, which is guided by dynasty, hinting at strategic meaning, actions. Vincenzo, with a light smile, raises his glass. Turning to Keon, who is sitting on the contrary, he says that over the years, that will understand a lot. Keon, despite the external calm, clearly interested, hidden meaning words. Vincenzo remembers their previous doubts regarding the Duchy of Jikarel. However, like Keon, now he is with time, learned the secret that stored hundreds of years. This is solution. The imperial court should not touch the duchy. Memories return Vincenzo by the time he heard the truth from the past emperor. It shook him to the core, leaving an indelible trace on his views and beliefs. Attentive sight. Vincenzo emphasizes his confidence. He notes that Mercy shows not imperial at all, family, and decides one day share this knowledge with Keon. Suddenly, Vincenzo with a slight irony asks Kiona, "Really?" He's not curious to know details. Keon saves composure, but his restrained, "What about you?" gives out hidden intrigue. Vincenzo is being asked the question of who is the mysterious one, the young master's bride, Jicarella. He heard that this is the lady from little-known viscountcy, Lintia, what causes him skeptical interest. After achievements coming of age, young Sir Jacarel Sharp rejected all talk of marriage. However, strange rumors began to spread about him, adding the mystery of his personality. Among gossip stands out the Viscountess's loud boast, Lintia, who claims that she became related to the family Gikarel. Against the backdrop of luxurious roses, the figure is shrouded in mystery. Keon, he was amazed because he had never heard of such a thing, viscountcy. His view expresses mistrust and growing intrigue. What kind of person is he? Is behind this history? Vincenzo assures Kiona what all it will become clear when we meet. Their conversation is ending under warm light garden-filled atmosphere secrets and future discoveries. Countess Kobelian, until late, Roel taught in the evenings refined manners and rules of conduct in the highest light. The girl tried to follow to everyone instruction, trying to learn the grace and refinement necessary for its provisions. After the Countess reminded that the lessons of manners knowledge, etiquette is the key to peace of mind. Despite his confidence in success, Roel felt like she lacked practice and was worried upcoming tests. Looking at the sunlight, Roel realized that her all-knowledge about the capital's nobles more limited. She decided intensely, prepare yourself so as not to miss anything important before the new one lesson. In the library, Roel, with enthusiasm, I was looking for useful literature. In this time, Heron, noticing her reading her brother's books, accused her in that she does. It's secret. Roel tried to explain that doesn't steal books at all. But Heron, indignant, her behavior did not want to listen to excuses and sharply expressed their claims. Heron continued blame, Roel emphasizing that her actions create problems for his brother Aslan. This statement puzzled and greatly upset Roel, awakening feeling guilt. Understanding that her desire for knowledge caused difficulties for those around her, Roel froze in confusion. Her thoughts were confused, but she understood that should to correct situation. I remembered what Aslan looked like. Worried when told her about the invitation to the imperial banquet, Roel realized that his excitement could be connected with her unpreparedness. Deep feeling, Roel was overcome with guilt, She apologized to Heron, admitting her mistake and realizing how much her actions could cause harm. Aslan's reputation. However, Heron was not satisfied. Apologies. His indignation remained obvious, emphasizing that repentance alone, not enough to smooth out consequences, her actions. Roel, the girl with purple eyes, receives a strict order to return home. She looks like confused, as if she doesn't understand why they are rushing. The harsh tone and sharp gesture suggest a hidden threat. Heron blonde with blue eyes. With his eyes, he fell to the floor, frightened happening. Roel, having sat down next to him, carefully asks if everything is okay, whether he is. Her voice is full of excitement, but she tries calm down, boy. As if for a moment, having forgotten what was happening, Roel smiles glad that Heron was not injured. Her care, sincere and bright light around, emphasizes warm atmosphere. Heron, blushing, realizes that Roel may have set her up myself under falling books for his safety. Embarrassment fills it. He refuses, believed that such fragile the girl could have done that. At Roel's arises suspicion that Heron could to hit somewhere. She attentively examines him, tenderly, touching faces, and Heron blushes more stronger. This causes funny voltage between them. Sitting on the floor, Roel reflects on how her perceive here. Memories of the hatred with which she encountered in the past contrast with the kindness that surrounds her in this place. Suddenly, Aslan appears tall, a young man with dark hair. His stern look stops at Roel, and the girl froze, realizing that he had become witness disorder that she arranged. Roel apologizes to Aslan for the chaos that she called. She felt awkward in front of him, but she tries not to lose self-control and show your responsibility. Aslan is worried, asks if she hit herself. Roel bending over closer. His seriousness and sincerity cause easy. The girl is confused, but she assures him that she is fine. Assurance that she's fine. Roel promises put away fallen books. Her light smile and determination soften the atmosphere. Aslan looks at her with quiet respect, noticing her sincere caring for others. Aslan, thoughtfully looking away, reservedly orders to leave everything on their own places. His voice is cold but decisive, causing awe in those around him. Roel, standing nearby, feels how these words hide something important. Roel, with surprise, looks at Aslan when he offers go for a walk. His unexpected care causes her confusion, but she can't hide easy smile, thinking that the day was really good for such a proposal. They are walking along a path in the forest. Roel is considering the surrounding nature, and says that, for the first time, it turns out in this place. Aslan, keeping mysterious look, confident, leads her forward. The forest becomes denser, and Roel, surprised, notices that there is something hidden behind the Duke's castle, such beautiful trail. She is coming, following Aslan, wondering how he could to be so calm and confident. A view opens before them, an extraordinary view. A purple lake color sparkles in the rays. Sun Roel admiringly freezes, not believing your own eyes, asking yourself as such. Maybe. Aslan explains that, unusual, the color of the lake is caused plants growing on its bottom. His voice sounds softer than usually, and Roel can't help but smile at his unexpected peace. Roel asks if they remain lie plants purple, even if they're take out from water. She looks greedily at the lake, amazed by its beauty, and does not notice how Aslan begins undress. When Roel realizes what's happening, her cheeks are covered with a bright blush. She is in a panic, calls Aslan. Young master! Not knowing where escape from embarrassment, Aslan calmly leaves their things on the shore, assuring that he would return soon. His confidence and calm, only more, are confusing Roel, who can't believe in his calmness. Aslan walks towards the water, holding his sword at the ready. Roel, standing on the shore, does not take her eyes off him, eye bursting between admiration and awkwardness. The lake sparkles, and their walk becomes the moment that she will remember for a long time. Aslan bare-chested calls, Roel, confusion and fear. The girl is in a panic, asks what he has in mind, and Aslan himself seems slightly surprised her reaction. Aslan is trying, explain that, once show how flowers look in the water after all. This maybe be interesting. However, Roel, blushing categorically, denies mine interest, feeling awkwardness. Inside myself, Roel realizes that situation seems unrealistic. However, it seems to her that she already was here, earlier, as if place connected with her memories. Aslan asks if there is. Does the lake have a name? But he answers himself. Earlier it had name, however. Now needs a new one. His voice sounds thoughtfully. He offers Roel, come up with new name for the lake, soft pushing her to the decision. Girl confused asks, again not believing that. This really her task. Slightly embarrassed, Roel thinks about that. She is not the mistress of the lake at all, and does not feel the right to such solutions. She looks at the water surface, full mystery. Aslan confidently states that she is the mistress of what more knocks down. Roel is confused. His calm and firmness contrast with hers. Uncertainty. Roel, surprised, clarifies whether he is really going to give her the entire lake. Aslan is, in no hurry, give direct answer. That causes her more questions. Finally, Aslan explains that this was only a joke, though not right away admits. Roel relieved sighs, realizing that everything is not that bad, seriously. With a smile that hides her awkwardness, Roel replies that Aslan really does funny feeling humor. They both looking at the lake immersed in their thoughts. Aslan thoughtfully looks into the distance, noting that what's happening is no joke. He turns to Roel, calling her the mistress of the lake, emphasizing importance her in connection with this place. Looking at the lake, Roel represents that it with time will become like in a fairy tale, the picture described by Aslan light, and reflections, water create magical atmosphere. Something flashes in the bushes nearby. Something strange. Aslan tenses, realizing that even there are monsters here. His expression becomes stern, preparing to defend himself. When the monster appears, Aslan abruptly protects Roel, putting behind her back and exposing Weapon Girl surprised, but trusts and allows him to take situation under control. From forests comes out cute fluffy animal, with large through the eyes of Roel, enthusiastically notices him, and instantly forgets about the danger considering it charming. Roel with joy picks up animal, calling it Roel, and laughing, Aslan warns her that this maybe be dangerous, but girl too much carried away your own new friend. Aslan insists that need to let go animal, because it can pose a threat, but Roel thinks he's too small and cute to be dangerous and stubborn holds it. Having discovered a wound on the body, little animal, Roel suggests that he got lost and was left without a mother. Her face reflects sympathy and care, and the little animal seems scared to her. Aslan softens, seeing Roel so touching and sincere. He sits down next to her, watching her interaction with fluffy creature, trying to understand her feelings. In the atmosphere, comfort, and trust, Aslan and Roel conduct time with found little animal. Little animal is no longer afraid, and Aslan, despite his doubts, decides leave him with Roel temporarily. Aslan notices wounded animal, and Roel asks him to help and take him to the castle. Seeing sincere concern girls, he agrees help her and lift her up animal from the ground. Aslan drops to one knee, and Roel with a glance, thanks him for his kindness. It trembles in her hands, small wounded a creature, that despite pain looks at those around it with hope. In the castle, Roel and the doctor attentively are being examined animal. It turns out that his wound is not deep. He probably ran into something sharp. Treatment is coming successfully, and Roel relieved exhales, calming down little animal. Roel gently hugs the rescued animal, trying to console him. She notices how that trembling with pain, but her warm care and kind words make him relax and feel yourself in safety. Suddenly, Serena and Yikarl burst into the castle with weapons clearly alarmed happening. They looking for the cause of the commotion, and their faces expressed determination sort out the situation. The Duke and Duchess see Roel, who looked frightened, with a glance explains that found wounded animal and brought it to the castle to save it. The situation it becomes clear, and their voltage gradually is falling. Roel with joy notices that little animal came to life and perhaps became part their families. Yikarl and Serena are amazed happening without understanding how animal suddenly became so important to everyone. Siloin, the majestic creature described, how predator at the top food chain. His intelligence and magical power are astounding, and his size resembles a carriage. His proud appearance is mentioned, origin causing reverence. This powerful monster with help magic takes the form of a wolf cub. He is surrounded by mystical aura, and at this moment, he looks simultaneously cute and dangerous, emphasizing its uniqueness. Duke Yikarl reflects that monsters Siloans rarely are leaving Central Part forests. Karmouche, their noble character, stands out there among other creatures, giving them special status. The Duke's family turns out to be shocked when little Saloin gets to them. His behavior causes different reactions from those present, especially from Roel, who carefully holds it in her hands. Aslan and Siren are discussing situation. Siren reassures that everything will be fine, and Aslan looks excited. Their concern emphasizes significance what is happening. Duke Hikarel is strict in his assessment situation. He is surprised the appearance of little Siloan and tries to understand how such a powerful monster turned out to be. Here, Roel decisively defends Aslan, stating that he is not guilty of anything. It is recognized that this she brought a little wolf cub, demonstrating her courage and care. Young woman explains that the wolf cub is small and got lost, injuring its paw, touching history. She is trying melt hearts adults and show their duty help. The Duke is shocked such situation, but expresses surprise when wolf cub suddenly shows his tenderness by causing easy a smile on his face. Siren assures all that they will cope with this situation. Aslan doubts, but in the end agrees, demonstrating trust in the Duchess and readiness help to the wolf cub. Roel carefully hugs his own pet, Fluffy White, the beast, who seemed to recognize her. In their warmth, the scene shows a tender connection, like Pet feels her sincere love and care. The Siren asks Aslan about his motives. Her gaze is stern and full of suspicion, but in her words, one can feel alertness, as if she doesn't trust situation and tries reveal his secrets, intentions. Siren thoughtfully evaluates Aslan. Her eyes shine cold determination. She understands that despite her attempts, his character won't allow him to find out the truth to him, reveal what he is hiding. Roel feeds White Beast, and her kindness penetrates into every her action. She realizes that the creature, despite its wildness, does not represent threats to people, and in it lives peaceful heart. Silhouette windows illuminated, creating an atmosphere of mystery. The Siren reflects that White Beast could be the key to unlocking family secret, that hidden behind a veil, time and secrets. Roel with joy runs after his own pet in the forest beast. Now healthy and full of energy, Joyful runs around, showing off his new energy as if enjoys freedom and its society. Roel smiles, watching his pet, thinking about how seriously she was worried about his condition. Now that he was she recovered, feels sincere relief and joy. Roel gives her Wolf's name is Van. She proudly notices that even the doctor is surprised by his complete restoration. This is her little triumph, confirming her strength, worries. Roel brings Van into the forest, intending to return him to his native elements. However, she understands that the connection has become stronger, and let him go now much more difficult than she thought. Roel gently tells Van that it's time for him to go back home. Her face glows warmth and sadness at the same time. After all, this farewell became for her test that emphasizes her care for him. Roel and Aslan, holding hands, walk through the forest, immersed in an atmosphere of solitude. Roel mentally recalls that how many would she know tried step away. Aslan always stayed close in the end. In the end, she had to return him to the castle. Abandoned a glove on the hallway floor, as if symbolizes hasty escape. Roel notices this is also in confusion, is being asked. The question is where Aslan is heading towards, expressing obvious concern about his intentions. Siren screams at Heron, calling for him to stand up and stop weakness. She reminds him that his efforts not enough, requiring more. Heron, breaking into a scream, tries prove your determination by not giving in to an argument. Siren, pointing to his promise, improve skills, mocks helplessness. Heron assuring that with such an approach he is no good. She instructs him to realize their weaknesses and accept their. Heron collects latest strength despite the pressure sirens. He internally rises up against her words, but realizes that only overcoming own fears will lead him to success. The siren reminds us that there is no place for mediocrity in the world. She hard makes it clear to Heron that during her training he won't have it concessions, hinting that what awaits him ahead, hard way. Heron, in rage and despair, commits jump, expressing mine internal rebellion. Siren with cold with a grin. He fixes his awkward attempts, seeing them as a reason for ridicule. The siren stops feeling fatigue. Herself. Confidence does not allow relax. And she believes that this only another one, a test for her patience. comparing situation with teenage rebellion. Heron, hiding in the garden among flowers, reflects on his motives. He feels that his actions were dictated. Desire attract the attention of the brother who became would be for him example on a hunt. Sitting surrounded by roses, Heron understands that his desire, proving one's strength, is connected with the internal conflict. He is looking for approval, but not ready, admit weakness, striving to become better for the sake of oneself and others. Heron, lonely and sad, reflects on how his brother has become distant from him. He no longer practices fencing with him, that causes to the boy deep spiritual pain, increasing his feeling abandonment. Heron remembers how his brother is getting more and more attention, devotes another to the girl Roel, who suddenly appeared in their house. It seems to him that she became the reason that her brother no longer spends time with him. Overwhelmed jealousy, Heron accuses Roel, is that she is applying for a place the most important women in his brother's life. This thought ignites in him determination not to forgive her. When Roel Heron approaches him to talk, meets her with restrained anger. She holds a cute puppy in her arms, and her smile seems such more sincere that boy slightly is lost. However, internal voltage makes him push away her Heron, angry about the fact that exactly she sees him in a vulnerable state. He doesn't want to confess her attempts, rapprochement. Roel explains that I was running after the puppy, because of which her legs were tired. Her friendly and calm manner makes Girona feel myself. It's awkward, but he still does saves alienation. Roel, sitting next to Heron in the garden, suggests that they take a break. Frivolous joke about weakness causes the boy embarrassed, but he feels that her words do not carry any malicious intent. Young woman admits to his physical weaknesses, saying that fast gets tired, even from a simple one activity. Her sincerity touches Heron, but he tries not to show it their own emotions. Roel calls Girona amazing for his ability to cope with difficult training in such young age. Her praise makes him, for the first time in a long time, feel warmth and pride. She notes his tenacity, comparing myself with him, and this awakens in the boy mixed feelings. He begins to realize that her attention and care do not threaten his relationship with his brother, but can even do their stronger. Roel carefully asks Heron question, doubting the sincerity of his words. In her, there is uncertainty in the eyes, but the tone sounds sincere interest. Heron looks like shy, as if he had suddenly been caught doing something important. Roel smiles. Heron radiating light and sincere joy. Her words are permeated with warmth and kindness. She encourages him, sincerely admiring. Heron surprised, but this admiration touches him. Heron tensely ponders why Roel is so unusual reacts. He examines, and he thinks that she may be naive or just doesn't know how to express their emotions correctly. Heron notices fragility. Roel. She seems to him weak, but at the same time causes admiration. Despite her vulnerability, she is ready to stand up for him, which amazes him. In the library, Roel closes by herself, Heron protecting him. Her determination impressive, even despite the fact that she barely stands on his feet. Heron sees in this incredible courage. After events, they sitting in the garden, surrounded flowers. Heron thinks about Roel. In his head sound thoughts about her naivety, but deep down, he admires the most naivety that considered weakness. Roel suddenly hears from Heron apologies. His words are touching her, and she is at a loss. Looks at him without expecting so sincere gesture on his part. Heron, gathering his courage, sincerely asks forgiveness for his rudeness. He is embarrassed and a little excited, but his sincerity causes Roel warm smile. Waking up in the morning, Roel yawns and stretches, illuminated soft sunny light. The servant greets her, offering to get down to business, but she dreamily thinks about yesterday events. The servant invites her to begin morning with breakfast, but Roel continues be in your own thoughts, realizing how unusual and important was her conversation with Heron. Roel can't sleep because he's worried about what's to come event. She is thinking about whether he can you manage and meet expectations? Hopes surrounding. Looks at his gloved hands and feels anxiety, wondering, question will cope. She's with a new one role. Inner fear and doubts fill out her thoughts. Her housemaid helps calm down, carefully correcting clothes. This is caring touch reminds Roel what she is not alone in her experiences. Roel thanks maid who smiles back, supporting her. In their interaction, it feels like trust and warmth. Roel is considering outfits in the wardrobe, noting that some dresses don't suit her. This symbolizes her wish select the path that matches her true entities. Change of scenery. The Duchess in the Capitol studio orders new dresses. Maid enthusiastically admires her determination and style. Roel admires Duchess, wondering her confidence and charisma. Inner look, readable mixture, respect and surprise. Aslan appears to accompany Roel. His presence inspires confidence, although his look remains serious. Roel joyfully greets Aslan, feeling relief that he is near. Her smile adds brightness their interaction. They together come out ready for a new day. Aslan, in his restrained style, supports Roel, showing readiness, protect her in any situations. Aslan carefully supports Roel. The morning, for them, begins with a gentle moment. Roel looks at him with trust, and he, holding back emotions, carefully holds her by the hands, handing over confidence and calmness. Siren carefully says goodbye to Roel, warning her, "Be careful," her sight full love and care. Roel answers reservedly, but with a hint of warmth, promising that he will return soon. Roel, with surprise, asks the Duke and Duchess if they are planning Lee. They set off somewhere. Her big eyes radiate sincere interest, and light surprise, adding lightness to the moment. Siren, with a smile, confirms intention. Go for a walk. Duke Hickarel is next to her, nods in agreement, radiating confidence. In their dialogue, it feels like harmony and care for each other. The siren commands Roel, hurry up and get into the carriage. Farewell, she gently concerns her shoulder, adding peace and support. Aslan is getting ready, a company restraining their emotions. Duchess and another woman, waving Roel, wishing her happiness paths. Their joyful smiles and wishes create an atmosphere of warmth and support. Seeing off girl with love. Offers with a determined look, leave following Roel. Her confidence transmitted surrounding Hickarel and others, companion support. This decision planning further actions. In the carriage, woman, in red clothing, enjoys the view, while sitting next to him boy, remains thoughtful. There the conversation is full of lightness despite the contrast in mood. Internal, the Duke's doubts grow stronger. He realizes that send young people alone was a risky step. His fingers nervously compress reins, reflecting internal alarm. Siren and Hickarel. They set off on a journey on horseback, decisively follow Roel, counting his own duty, look after her determination. The Duchess is visible in her strict gaze directed forward. Roel, with anxiety, looked at Aslan, waiting for his answer. Her eyes sparkled soft light, and questions are in the air seemed heavy. Aslan's serious thought, trying not to show it. Excitement. Their dialogue personified careful rapprochement. Aslan thoughtfully looked at his interlocutor, while she asked, is he afraid? Whether he is a forest. His gaze was filled hidden emotions, and his words revealed a little fear, carefully hidden behind a calm facade. Roel, sensing his embarrassment, softly smiled, assured him that we'll protect him in any situations. Her voice sounded sincerely, and the surrounding background is with flowers emphasized her warm attitude. Roel, with joy. She accepted Aslan's words. Agreeing with his trust, looked inspired, when words brought us closer. Them in soft shine light framed them, figures creating feeling harmony. Suddenly, something moved under dress. Roel, she scared. She jumped back, and then appeared in front of her fluffy white animal, that as if jumped out from shelters, attracting universal attention. Roel, she joyfully took the animal in her arms without holding back laughter. Was Kitten, who caused her genuine happiness. Situation filled up carefree warmth, diluting their tense experiences. Aslan was surprised, watched what was happening, trying to understand how the animal ended up here. Roel was delighted, her shining smile as if illuminated room, and the kitten, without losing time, settled down in her arms. Roel suggested that Kitten all this time followed them unnoticed. She cheerfully suggested, take it with you, perceiving this. How funny adventure, and Aslan is just slightly lifted eyebrow in response. In a cozy, the atmosphere, the sun's rays broke through the foliage, illuminating Roel with a kitten and a pensive Aslan. Their understanding, it seemed stronger and new. Satellite completed the picture of friendship and trust. Roel, looking at the surroundings, her sunny forest remembers the first time she went to the Duke's castle. Then she was scared. Everything around it seemed gloomy and alien. But now, being close to Aslan, her heart feels calm. The forest is like comes to life, and every ray of sunshine, as if greets her. Taking refuge in the room, Roll enjoys silence and tenderness. She holds in his hands a snow-white fluffy animal, which cozy settled down on her lap. This idol fills her soul with peace, forcing forget about worries. It seems that nothing bad can happen. In the distance, through trees, a carriage is visible, driving along a forest road. Roel feels like sun breaks through the foliage, creating magical light. She believes that ahead, waiting only good events. The forest is like confirms her confidence, giving peace and hope. The Viscount's gloomy castle. Linte, hidden behind thorny bushes, shrouded premonition troubles. Dark silhouette girls transmits voltage moment broken. There are dishes on the floor, like becomes reflection, hidden conflicts. Sudden flash anger tears apart this one fragile atmosphere. Serving reports news. Roel, as it turns out, will be accompany Aslan on the upcoming imperial banquet. For those around, this event becomes unexpected. In the air is hovering tension, increasing presence. A broken cup left on the floor as a symbol of something unfinished. A woman with bright red hair flushed with rage looks on from under her brows. Her words reflect contempt and indignation. It seems to her that young Roel crosses over to hell, boldly ignoring her letters. This emotion flares up in her, with a new Bifrost turning into determination to act. A woman is sitting at the table with a pen in her hand, recounts debts accumulated over the past time. Her anger turns into a cold one calculation. She decides that in case necessity will go to Roel and Aslan personally to achieve justice. The plan matures in her head, giving rise to gloomy satisfaction. Attention women again attract bills and documents. Her movements become sharp. She reminds to those around her about her debts. This scene shows how far she is willing to go for her goals. Excitement intensifies as if the whole world is against it. Her determination. Face women becomes tough, and the look permeates. She decides that the trip to the duchy will be the ideal step for implementation. Her intentions. Her lips bend in a grin, full confidence in one's own superiority. Tension reaches its peak. Smile women seems ominous, and her sight speaks about hidden intentions. I am convinced that situation folds into her benefit. This moment completes chain events, leaving feeling impending conflict in which destinies Roel and Aslana will be closely intertwined. A man in a formal suit announces preparations for a banquet. In the room reigns mysterious atmosphere. Lighting emphasizes tension moment. On the chair-wrapped darkness sits a woman with a slight defiance, indicating that the coming evening will important. Her confidence frightening and fascinating simultaneously. A woman with bright hair reflects on the fact that Roel wasn't taught strictly enough, she said with a grin. Anticipating, I'll meet her, intends personally teach a lesson. Her pose, cunning a smile, and confidence in words emphasize her prudence and desire, take situation under control. Roel looks out the window with admiration, noting how long it has been since she's been in the capital. The city is preparing for the imperial banquet, the streets decorated as for the festival. The look is full of sincerity, delight, and curiosity, and the surrounding atmosphere is bright and joyful. Aslan, sitting nearby with a book, meets Roel's request, take a walk. Her sincerity causes him easy smile, and without looking up from the book, he allows it. The moment emphasizes their warm connection, where he strives save calmness and she to express her joy. Aslan takes Roel by the hand, and they go out into the street, filled with flowers and lights. Girl looks like enchanted, her dress shimmers in the sun. Their interaction demonstrates trust, and the scene emphasizes their harmony in the environment, festive vanity. They get into the carriage, and Roel is amazed by her grace. Passers-by notice the coat of arms on the carriage, which indicates belonging to a family, Hikarel. These details create an atmosphere of awe among crowds celebrating importance. Their appearances. In the crowd, they are discuss the young master Jikarel, wondering who the lady is, accompanies him. Views fulfilled curiosity and speculation, emphasizing Aslan's status and mystery, their companies. Aslan, noticing crowd, takes Roel by the hand and gently leads her aside. She's slightly confused by the attention surrounding, but feels myself protected next to him. This moment adds depths their interaction and shows his concern. Roel hard sighs, hugging the little white one pet. She looks like tired but happy, like as if she had experienced an emotional moment. Pet soft purrs supporting her, and she gratefully smiles. Their walk ends, but for them back remains whisper crowds. People continue to discuss their appearance, anticipating further development events. Aslan and Roel return to the carriage, keeping between an atmosphere of warmth and support. Aslan, with anxiety, looks at Roel and asks if she's okay, Lee. His worried sight conveys his sincere care. He notices that she looks like confused, as if something about her knocked out from tracks. Roel, it is admitted that slightly got scared. Due to close attention, views people around her embarrassment. It can be felt in her gestures because she is not used to such attention. She apologizes to Aslan for his state. Aslan, with a serious and caring expression, speaks Roel. What she doesn't need, apologize to him. His look becomes softer. He wants show that accepts her, such as she there is, without necessity, make excuses. Aslan adds that Roel shouldn't ask for forgiveness in the future, neither he nor anyone else. His words sound, how promise protect her from the like situations. At this moment, a situation is established between them, more deep connection. Roel embarrassedly looks at Aslan and her pet sitting on hands. Curious looks up. Her confusion and tenderness emphasize how much Aslan's words are important to her. Aslan is serious, adds that if someone will force she asked for forgiveness, she should report him about it. His decisive tone emphasizes that he always will be on her side and is ready to stand up for her. Roel thoughtfully looks at him and quietly agrees. Her sight becomes more confident, as if she feels support that allows her to be himself next to Aslan. Their hands touch, and this gesture becomes a symbol of trust between them. Roel promises, follow his words and no longer doubt your right to be by yourself. Suddenly, Roel asks Aslan for a favor. Her voice sounds softly, and their intertwined hands add touching moment. She's clearly getting ready. Say something important. Aslan attentively looks at Roel, waiting her question. Her confusion and determination, her image is still more touching, and their dialogue becomes a symbol of the new chapters in their relationships. Aslan, holding back lung discontent, is asked question. How for a long time Roel will contact him officially. His cold tone and questioning sight hint at irritation, but at the same time, it doesn't look genuine evil, as if there was something hidden in his words, reproach mixed with concern. In response to this, Roel reminds that they engaged, causing Aslan to look surprised. Freeze, bright sky, and surroundings emphasize her words, but this only disguises timid embarrassment. Their interaction gives out mixture affection and awkwardness, revealing their not yet finished established relationship. Roel, a little bit blushing, doesn't know how react. Her huge expressive eyes are filling up confusion and warmth, as if in this moment a connection is born between them, fragile bridge trust. She is trying to find the words, but her confusion speaks more than any replicas. Suddenly, attention. Roel attracts Ali, full acquaintances, memories. She recalls visits to the salon and shop, which were beloved in some places. Viscountess feeling past overflows her, leaving easy aftertaste, sadness, and nostalgia. Roel recalls how the Viscountess made her carry the shopping. Then it seemed to her that these days endless memories of this period painted both funny and painful tones. Viscountess looked stern, but the gestures carried a hidden meaning, care. Lost in thought, Roel remembers farewell to the Viscountess. I was expecting to receive a letter or instructions, but in the end, only guesses about the reasons for it, silence. Regret fills her look, but tiny white pet, cozy, nestled in his arms, emphasizes her loneliness. She can't understand why the Viscountess is not in touch. Eyes are filling up anxiety, and it seems that thoughts about the past absorb her completely. In her thoughts, there is also a hint of fear that perhaps she herself is to blame for this rupture. In a moment of thoughtfulness, Roel admits to myself that is afraid meeting with the Viscountess. Her legs froze in indecision, as if she is not ready to take a step forward. Her whole appearance gives out reluctance, encounter ghosts past. Aslan notices her confusion and offers his support unobtrusively, turning attention to the thing that could her to interest. His red eyes, despite the severity, express sincere interest and warmth. However, Roel embarrassedly denies interest. That causes Lung Aslan is disappointed. Their views intersect, and a conflict arises between them. Funny but warm atmosphere, showing how awkwardness capable bring together their more. Small Roel is relieved, smiling, hugging a fluffy white little animal. Her thoughts busy gratitude for the fact that young Sir turned out to be so kind, as opposed to formidable Duchess. Girl feels safe around this by a person. In her memory, a scene pops up where she forced fulfill capricious requirements. Duchess. The woman is furious, requires buy all the expensive ones, decorations without leaving choice. Roel, indeed, refusal. Always turned into problems for her. Walking down the street with Aslan, Roel notices unusual sign above the door. Her always interested Lee, this shop was located here after all. Earlier I didn't notice her. There was a magical atmosphere in the air. She aloud is being asked. The question is, Lee. This shop is magical. Her curiosity grows, and she looks at Aslan waiting for his reaction. Her fluffy satellite seems as surprised as the girl herself. Aslan with restraint notices, sign, and asks Roel Seasley. She is what it says on her girl confirms that she distinguishes inscription that causes her more interest in this mysterious place. Roel looks at sign that looks like, how ordinary continental plate. However, her attracts something inexplicable, as if this shop hides inside something more than just goods. Raising look Roel with admiration confirms that, sees all clearly. Her eyes burning with anticipation, she seems ready for the extraordinary discoveries that can hide behind this door. Aslan suggests Roel enters the shop. His gesture indicates politeness, invitation, and his stern look hints at readiness, protect girl if will arise. Threat, Roel responded, agrees full of expectations. Approaching the door, they notice that curtains on the window closed. However, from the inside is heard easy light. Roel is surprised when sees that the door on the actual case open, despite the apparent silence. Inside there meets an old man with a long white beard, and kind with his eyes. He is surprised their arrival, clarifying not for the necklace Lee. They came, his calm and the atmosphere of the shop make feel myself cozy but mysterious. Roel and Aslan are located together, creating the impression of an important event. The girl with excitement notices unusual glitter on Aslan's neck. She's clearly interested decoration that seems to her something special. Exciting her thoughts and feelings, their path leads them into a room filled with atmosphere secrets. Attention attract jewelry products that emit magical light. Merchant offers choice, but Roel seems confused, not knowing what decoration will ideal. She notices that these necklaces look unusual, not like those can found in regular stores. They seem filled hidden meaning and incredible energy, like as if keep something inside themselves more than just beauty. When Roel is approaching one of necklaces, her covers wave, surprise. Decoration emits unusual glow, and the girl feels like a world is opening up before her unknown secret. Stone seems something alive filled with magic. She accidentally touches the necklace, and it happens something unexpected. The force emanating from the stone begins influence space around Roel. Apologizing is embarrassed, happened fearing that called Aslan's displeasure. She confidently declares that she is ready to take responsibility for what happened and to compensate for the damage. However, the situation seems to be causing silent okay with sides of Aslan and the merchant, which understand that the event is far from ordinary. The old man with a mysterious look stared intently, looks at Roel, asking unexpected question about her origin. Girl turns out I'm stunned, because before this moment, no one was so seriously interested her past. Question forces. Roel think about it. She is trying, remember, but her consciousness covers vague feeling, as if her relatives. The edges have long been lost in the depths. Her memory. Her eyes are filling up confusion. The old man does the conclusion that it is important to first put things in order. Space. The surroundings are shrouded in the remnants of magic, and the atmosphere demands attention. Everything indicates that events accept new twist. Suddenly, magical light again comes to life, opening shelves with mystical bottles. Roel is amazed by the opened one picture and realizes that faced with a real magic, this moment becomes the beginning of her new path. A powerful mage with gray hair uses magic demonstrating spectacle from magical symbols and luminous patterns. History begins with a mention of the mysterious origin magic given to people as great a mystery that reveals new things to them, horizons. The magic book reveals pages telling about the magic that unknown when it appeared. But according to myths, it was given to people as a gift. This gift contains greatness and secrets inaccessible to most. Magic is only available chosen ones born with a rare gift. Her studying requires huge efforts and resources, therefore only few can take possession. This art magician in the radiance magical light, symbolizing rarity and complexity. Paths, wizards. Naive and sincere girl named Roel, for the first time, meets a magician. Her admiration and joy from the meeting expressed on her face, she shocked seen. She holds small, fluffy creation that adds stage tenderness. The old magician's surprised reaction, Roel asks, "Did you see? Li she someday magicians earlier." Her confusion and delight cause him genuine amazement. He didn't expect it such sincerity from a girl. When the magician realizes that Roel, "I've never met magicians," he is amazed her reaction. Girl looks like surprised and slightly confused, but her genuine joy makes him smile and think about her uniqueness. Aslan, standing next to Roel, shows determination and protects her when the magician tries measure her magical power. Tension between them intensifies, creating a dramatic moment that emphasizes importance. Roel for Aslan. The magician offers measure magical potential. Roel, but Aslan is confident, interferes by prohibiting this is his concern. For Roel is visible in his gestures. He is not ready, expose her verification. The tense moment between the magician and Aslan shows their confrontation. Despite the obvious conflict, the magician admits to Roel something unique and surprising, making him think. Roel remains in the spotlight. Her surprise and confusion are replaced by quiet admiration. History only begins, and her magical fate promises be full secrets and discoveries that waiting ahead. An elderly man with gray hairbeard, being in a tense environment with caution, asks question, striving to know, name his own interlocutor. His gaze expresses anxiety and anticipation. Aslan responds by offering at first name your own name, emphasizing equality in this conversation that gives the stage, creates an atmosphere of slight tension. The man introduces himself, Roem Atiros. What causes noticeable change in the mood of his interlocutors? His appearance, and confident posture give him away significant personality. Before him stand Roel and Aslan, whose reactions point to them genuine attention to the old man's words. The setting emphasizes importance moment. Aslan, having heard name Roy pondering, heard his insightful look and tense expression, faces hint that the name Atharos awakened in him. Memories or guesses, Roel being nearby, is surprised her eyes full, sincere interest that emphasizes depth, their perception what is happening. The scene reveals significance. Surnames Atiros, which as it turns out, it is known to everyone in the empire, reputation related to ownership, large trading companies. The image of a black raven and ornaments enhance the atmosphere of grandeur and power by showing deep roots, family heritage. Roy frankly admits that at the moment, he does not have no connections with the Count's family. His face reflects calmness and wisdom, and light smile shows that this recognition is the result of a long internal paths. His tone is confident, but without unnecessary drama. Roy turns to Roel with a request name, your own name, emphasizing completeness. First exchange performances, Roel stands in front of him. Her long white hair adds softness into the tense atmosphere of the scene. The contrast of their emotions makes the moment special alive. Roel holds a fluffy white animal in hands. Look, she is full of surprise and tension, as if she is being prepared. Hear important words. Aslan stands nearby, reserved and serious. The old man with gray hair, introducing himself as Roel Lintea, as if is starting conversation with deep meaning. After he pauses as he speaks, name young men, Aslan de Hikarel, as if revealed an important secret. The old man's eyes are attentive. His face reflects mixture surprise and awareness, and Aslan retains composure, looking at the interlocutor from bottom to top. Roll costs silently watching what was happening. The old man was playing your own with a blue magic staff. Crystal translates look at Roel. His words seem careful, as if he is pondering whether it is worth it. Lee continue talk action, as if paused pending continuations. Into the room enters a man in a hooded cloak, his figure hidden shadow creating an atmosphere of mystery. Old man, Roel looks at the alien with caution, while ready for any turn. Tension in the air is getting stronger. Magic staff and insightful, the old man's gaze hints at importance moment. He reasons how fast flew by time, looking at Aslan and Roel as if reflecting on events past. Behind my back rises impressive library. The old man kindly offers Roel continue conversation tomorrow. His voice sounds warm and encouraging, creating an atmosphere of goodwill. The girl gratefully accepts his words, slightly bowing his head. Roel, with surprise in his eyes, pronounces just one word, as if something doesn't fit into her consciousness. I'm stunned. But this feeling mixes with hers, characteristic curiosity, pushing towards new questions and searches. Suddenly, the shop disappears, leaving Aslan and Roel among flashes. Light Aslan hugs girl to protect her, while magic fills space. Roel confused, but her sight addressed to Aslan, who is searching answers. They wandering the streets, trying to figure out where all disappeared. Roel suggests returning to the carriage, and Aslan agrees. The city seems as mysterious as the events with which they collided, filling evening fog of uncertainty. Later, Aslan worriedly interested condition Roel. She smiles and assures that everything is fine. Hug his own little animal. Her warmth smiles dispels the remnants of anxiety, creating a feeling of quiet and cozy end of a hard day. Roel, sitting in the carriage with Aslan, asks him about the past experience meetings with magicians. She holds a fluffy one in his arms, petting a white dog. Her at that time, like Aslan in a strict suit, thoughtfully responds, mentioning that those magicians were not look like the person you're talking about is coming speech. Aslan looks out the window, carriage's illuminated warm light. His eyes reflect easy sadness when he shares your own memories. Roel, carefully listening, it seems a little surprised, but continues, save calm, keeping the dog close to you. The carriage gets into a small trouble. The wheel hits a stone. Roel barely holds balance and falls. Finding himself next to Aslan, easy collision causes confusion, but the moment seems touching and a little funny. Aslan quickly supports Roel, who touches his shoulder. Her sight filled gratitude and light embarrassment at the time. How she clarifies everything, is he okay? A moment of tenderness builds between them, proximity. Roel embarrassed, straightening up, she apologizes for the awkwardness. Slightly blushes, looking at Aslan, who calmly asks how she myself feels. The dog in her arms, amusingly, wags its tail, filming tension in the moment. The carriage arrives at the luxurious estate. Servants greet them with deep bows. Aslan comes out first, helping Roel come down. She's slightly frozen by beauty buildings, are affected the grandeur of the mansion and the atmosphere around. Aslan, leading Roel by the hand, gently directs her inside. He demonstrates confidence and care, and Roel, with interest, examines interior. Her sight sparkles with admiration when they are suitable closer to the entrance. Huge, the doors of the mansion open, and they meets welcoming speech. Inside, all sparkles in the sun, rays adding the magic of the moment. Roel can hardly hide it. Their emotions feeling myself guest in the present palace. Aslan suggests Roel take a rest after long road. His voice sounds calmly, and smile emphasizes caring attitude. Roel agrees. But that's it. More located under impressions of the surroundings. Magnificence. Before finishing the day, Aslan promises to show her the whole mansion tomorrow. Roel, slightly confused, she agrees enthusiastically. She realizes that she couldn't hide, tired, but feels safe next to him. Roel, surrounded by servants, feels myself. It's awkward when they insist on escorting her to her room. Confusion and small stature compared to Aslan add situations. Tenderness, Aslan preserves calmness, radiating confidence, as if covering Roel, his own aura, protection. Roel, finding himself in solitude, reflects on the intense day, full unexpected events. She remembers about tomorrow, banquet day, which seems important to her test. Her determination is getting stronger, despite the visible fatigue and anxiety noticeable in her large eyes. The old magician remembers the moment when Roel touched magical stone. It surprises him, flash magical the power emanating from her. He reflects that without the innate magical gift, such phenomenon would impossible, and his thoughts are filling up anxiety and interest. Roel looks like how embodiment magic. Her sight filled bewilderment and slight fear when she understands that she can do it herself. Be a live, magical artifact. It sparkles on her hands, a magical amulet, and next to it is loyal pet, emphasizing her fragility and mystery. Elder is divided your own rich experience in studying magic, recognizing that never met so unusual phenomena like Roel's. His eyes full excitement when he tries solve a riddle that seems to turn his understanding upside down magical world. To use magic magicians need it, magical stone, but origin, these artifacts remains secret. Elder immerses himself in research, looking at ancient records and theories. His interest is reinforced, radiance, magical symbols, and mystical aura. Ancient items. Magical stones extracted from mines belong powerful family of the Duchy of Gikerel. Elder realizes that solution, their origin related to this family, but their secret creations are still eludes the magicians, deepening mystery their nature. Elder repeatedly tried to get permission visit mines Gikerella, so that to know more about magic stones, but his requests were rejected. He reflects on how security these mines are strengthened, secrecy making solution more unattainable. In the shop window exhibited exquisite necklaces with magic stones, one of which owns Roel. The elder amazed powerful magic emanating from her, and the young heir family's Gikerel. This one duet seems him the key to the riddle, ancient magical secrets. Elder remembers what is to come at the imperial banquet, where he should go. His inner dialogue interrupted young assistant, who clearly excited brings in element surprises. Their talk hints at important upcoming events. Teacher Roel, who is experiencing disgust for the aristocratic events, suddenly accepts solution. Attend one of these banquets. His student surprised this with anxiety is being asked. The question is why a mentor who hates aristocracy agreed there to go. In response to this, the old magician confidently explains that he will go to the banquet not on behalf of the county of Adoros, but as the chief magician of the empire. His serious mood causes respect, but intention to be present at such important event intrigues. Meanwhile, Roel sweet sleeps immersed in her dreams. Her calm violates tender, the touch of her furry friend's paws. Girl begins, wake up, feeling soft, warm contact. Having opened eyes, she meets his cute snow-white dog. This creation, as if having felt her awakening joyfully, wags its tail, provoking Roel's smile. She gently irons pet trying show that everything is okay with him. Fine. Roel relieved it is recognized that I was worried about my friend, after last their adventures in Magic Bench. She hugs him happy that he is close again, and okay. Their mutual attachment brings warmth to the heart. Despite returning to the comfort of the mansion, the dog continues to show signs of anxiety. Roel notices that's what he's trying to do. Calm him down with affectionate words, hand movements. Gradually, pet begins, relax. Thanks, care girls. Soon, attention Roel attracts a table with gifts, which suddenly appeared in the room. Surprised, she is being asked the question of where all these boxes came from. The type of set gifts causes her mixed feelings. Into the room, the maid Linda enters with a tray on which there is a teapot and a cup. She greets Roel with the morning tea, what adds a homey touch to the moment comfort. But the look, Roel is still chained to gifts. Roel turns to Linda, trying to understand what this mountain of gifts is. She sees in front of him. The maid explains that they addressed exactly to her, but on theirs origin, she doesn't know either response, causing more questions. Roel is surprised to think that these gifts could have arrived by mistake. Her curiosity and bewilderment intensify when she notices that there isn't even a name on the box's sender, leaving behind a mystery. Roel is surprised unexpected gifts. She wants send their back, but the maid happily explains that these things, they sent it to her specially. The girl feels lung confusion and bewilderment, not understanding how it could have gone that far. Sitting by the window, Roel, She looks at the gift boxes, uncertainly, thinks about whether it's worth it, leave them open. The look is full of doubts, but curiosity is already gradually gets the better of embarrassment. Young woman suddenly understands that these things associated with her, a walk with Aslan. Everything she liked that day was right in front of her. This causes lung confusion because Aslan always remains so reserved. Roel accepts solution, put off viewing gifts. She has many, there's a lot to do before the banquet, and there's not much time, readiness. Focus on preparation demonstrates her serious mood. Before Roel unfolds process preparations, the maid happily explains that choice outfit and accessories will take time, but if start right now, that's it, there will be time. Roel understands that morning turns into a rich adventure. Process choice includes not only dress, but also shoes, jewelry, and even makeup. The maids energetically get down to business, creating a light atmosphere of preparation. Causes Roel easy laughter and excitement. When the maids enthusiastically offer her options, dresses, Roel. A little. She is confused, agrees try on chosen for her, but that's all, more is embarrassed by such attention and care. On her put on tender dress with roses and decorations. Looking at herself in the mirror, Roel feels like, all this looks like incredible, exquisite accessories only emphasize her sophistication. The maids apply her makeup, making it natural and light. As jewelry, those that are chosen were donated. Duchess. This step completes her appearance, filling her image with grace. Sitting in front of the mirror, Roel reflects on how much difficult and tedious turns out process preparation. Despite this, she feels the joy of that. This event becomes for her something important and memorable. Roel is ending preparation for an important event, radiating thanks for the attachment's efforts surrounding. She looks like excited but determined to appear in full beauty. Evening, the sun is coming to an end. Flood's room, soft light, sunset. Roel looking out the window, enjoying the last ones. Minute's peace. They call us downstairs, reminding us that it's time to meet the guests. On Roel's face appears anxiety. She voices their doubts, remembering the possible arrival, Viscountesses, Lynthia, what causes her strong excitement. Collecting my thoughts, Roel nervously squeezes the edge of his dresses. Her thoughts occupy upcoming meeting and worrying about how she cope with the role hostesses evenings. Walking through the hall, she notices figureman in red mantles. Her sight stops at him, radiating strength and mystery. She trying to figure out who this human. Suddenly, Aslan, a man with dark hair and a piercing voice, with a glance red eye, fits closer. He looks at her carefully, that causes Roel confusion and slight embarrassment. In their first, Aslan is enchanting in his interactions. Roel his own with confidence and a sophisticated look. She involuntarily notes its attractiveness that forces her feel myself more uncertainly. Roel, unable to cope with his emotions, suddenly pronounces compliment that makes Aslan feel warm laughter. Her own reaction becomes for her unexpectedness. Aslan, with soft smile, answers, filling the atmosphere with calm. His noble appearance and warm attitude they force. Roel feel that a relationship is born between them. Something special. Meanwhile, a man appears in the hall, Viscountess Lynthia's self, confident and arrogant. Her sight emphasizes awareness, own status, introducing intrigue and tension in what is happening. I am bright and confident. A woman with scarlet hair joyfully realizes that now possesses magical wallet that provides her wealth. The look is full of pride and the energy as if filled with anticipation changes. She is ready to rise to the level aristocrats who own influence and conditions. She and her son, a young man with red hair, head into the crowded social hall. Guests richly dressed, and the scenery amaze your own magnificence. Woman decisively is looking for needed person. Her goal becomes Roel, who might be hiding among crowds. Aristocrats. Gorgeous notices someone on the balcony. The young man draws attention, her attention in the right direction. Her sight becomes sharp, and she with slight distrust is trying. Evaluate unexpected opening between them, as if arises general understanding important scene. Aslan appears below, dressed in luxurious black uniform with red elements. His aristocratic, the origin is obvious, and the strict appearance emphasizes confidence. They honor him, emphasizing his importance. The crowd as if freezes when he appears. A woman, in a pronounced surprise, looks at Aslan. Her face expresses shock and inner fight. She can't believe what is in front of her. It's him. This opening knocks out her from equilibrium, forcing search explanation. What is happening? Aslan turns out suddenly charming. His sharp features faces, combined with soft, thoughtful look. Woman recalls rumors about his frightening appearance and disability, which are not confirmed. All this more stronger confuses her. Appears at the ball, Roel. She radiates light and innocence. Her dress shimmers gentle shades. Woman shocked to realize that young woman maybe be associated with Aslan. These two together look, how unexpected but powerful combination. Roel and Aslan together descend the stairs, attracting the guests' attention. The atmosphere around them is like changes, and their images seem perfect harmonious. Crowd discusses their possible union, admiring how both beauty and presence this couples. The guests in the hall, surprised and enchanted, discuss events. The woman not believing your own eyes listens to rumors. Confidence that she understands who there is, who sharply hesitated, and she was indecisive about how proceed further. The scene ends with Roel and Aslan find themselves in the spotlight. They as if embodiment, beauty, and grandeur. A woman seized with excitement, he understands that meeting them is event that maybe change her further fate. At the ball, Roel dressed in snow-white dress, with graceful decorations, stands next to Aslan. Her sight, a little confused, but Aslan's confidence, which looks like majestically and restrainedly, helps her feel myself calmer. His cold determination seems like a reliable shield to her. Roel notices how Aslan saves complete calm. This instills in her feeling confidence, and she gradually lets go their anxiety. His presence is valid. How quiet support allowing her to smile and feel safe in an unfamiliar place. Environment ball. Aslan hands her a glass of drink, and his movement filled hidden care. Roel takes the glass with a note, doubts guessing, is it possible Lee, it's a drink? This moment is filled with slight tension when young woman tries to understand what is the right thing to do, relying on his confidence. Roel asks if it's safe. Should I drink this drink, for fear that it might contain alcohol? Aslan soothes her, reporting that this total only non-alcoholic punch. His words are removed, tension, and the girl carefully does the first sip, trusting his decision. The drink is nice, surprising Roel. His taste forces her smile, but inside warmth spreads. She feels like her embarrassment dissolves and begins enjoy the moment. This, a simple gesture, fills her joyfully, forcing forget about the hustle and bustle around. They are standing side by side, surrounded by the sounds of the ball, but for them it was as if would exists a separate world. Roel feels that next to Aslan, nothing threatens her, and his presence fills this moment of harmony. For the two of them, time as if slows down. Approaches. Aslan woman in exquisite red dress, moving with grace, with confidence. She politely greets him, showing respect. Her appearance adds tension, changing the atmosphere and attracting attention to what is happening. Woman represents myself. How Malaya Labiant, smiling with a share mystery. Her presence seems significant and causes Roel lung concern. However, curiosity gets the better of her, and she attentively observes the interaction. Malaya and Aslan. Melia, radiating charm, does a graceful gesture, emphasizing his confidence and strength. This moment adds drama, what is happening, forcing Roel think about intention strangers. The ball becomes arena for new intrigues and hidden emotions. On the luxurious reception, Roel Young, a girl with white hair, appears in an elegant outfit, attracting the guests' attention. She is tense, trying to comply with all regulations, etiquette, so as not to give away his own inexperience. Situation becomes especially complex because of the majestic and strict atmosphere of the hall. She notices Aslan, a young man with dark hair and piercing eyes, approaching her red eyes. His imperious presence causes her alarm, but Roel tries save calmness. Her internal monologues indicate attempts to correctly present oneself and produce good impression. Gathering his courage, Roel does a graceful curtsy and represents himself. Aslan carefully watches her, and his cold sight forces her feel myself uncertainly. Meanwhile, others guests, they are starting whisper, discussing her manners and origin. Trying support conversation, Roel uncertainly comments situation at the banquet. However, her nervousness becomes noticeable. That strengthens her embarrassment. Aslan, although reserved, shows a slight interest in her attempts to start a dialogue. Suddenly, into the situation interferes other guest, who attracts Aslan's attention. Her bright appearance and confidence manners contrast with the timid Roel. This distracts young girl, and she thinks about it, hasn't done it mistake in your behavior. Aslan, it seemed, would. Ignoring strangers, conversations, unexpectedly asks Roel. Question doesn't want to lie. She's something to eat. This a simple gesture is puzzling her, but also a little calms down. She trying to understand why he showed attention to her. Aslan's accompanying guest, obviously irritated by his attention, to Roel expresses your own discontent. However, Aslan not paying attention to her reaction, offers Roel go to more quiet place where they will be able to talk. Roel feels myself more awkward due to obvious tension between interlocutors. Nevertheless, she decides follow Aslan so as not to violate the rules of decency. Her indecision and a desire to please others, they do her vulnerable, appears in Aslan's eyes, something that forces the other guests to stay away. He directly indicates that his request is being ignored, thereby showing his unyielding nature. Roel. This, a little. It's scary, but also provocative curiosity. Conflict reaches climax when Aslan does unexpected statement, emphasizing that Roel is his bride. This is shocking, how those around her, as well as Roel herself, who I didn't expect such a statement at all, the atmosphere around it's heating up. Roel, tender girl with white hair for the first time, meets woman in red dress at the ball. They exchange pleasantries, but her interlocutor radiates tense energy, hinting at hidden target, his own appearances. Confused, Roel answers, timidly smile, but her voice gives it away, uncertainty. Woman in red hides, mocking smile behind the fan, assessing interlocutor. The atmosphere around becomes tense, as if is brewing conflict. Aslan, a tall guy with dark hair, suddenly appears next to Roel. His decisive a look and a cold manner of speech instantly change the environment. It's like protects her from hidden threats that the woman in red can't anymore hide. Roel is confused, whispers not too much. Aslan is harsh, but he assures her that all under control. Their quiet exchange of words contrasts with the growing tension in the hall. Roel looks like grateful, but that's it, more worried. Aslan is distracting her attention, speaking of desserts, and this forces Roel's smile. Her face instantly illuminates joy, like as if she for a moment forgets about the recent awkwardness. The topic changes, and the tension fades into the background. Appears nearby, young the man in the blue suit, who approaches with importance news. He addresses Aslan in an official tone, emphasizing his status and importance. Their next meetings. Aslan orders coldly contact him as to His Majesty, that emphasizes his position. Emperor Roel, surprised, but silent accepts this fact, looking at it with respect. Before leaving, Aslan promises to return, clutching the decorated hilt in his hands. Roel agrees, even in her eyes, readable easy anxiety, like as if she is afraid to be left alone without his protection. Aslan points out Roel on the terrace, offering wait for him there. She obediently nods, stepping towards the glass doors behind which visible night sky. The atmosphere around seems calm, but something lurks in the darkness. Once on the terrace, Roel feels uncomfortable. In her head float up creepy memories and shadows from past, forcing her nervously look back. Darkness is filling up in a whisper, revealing secrets that Roel tried forget. Small Roel, noticeably excited, runs away from a crowded ball. Inner thoughts rushing about anxiety, and she is looking for exit to the terrace. Her children's determination and desire to find peace are reflected in it. Sweet but focused expression faces. On the terrace, Roel finally stops, deep sighing. She enjoying a moment of silence and solitude, looking at the night sky strewn with stars. Easy the breeze and the beauty of the night calm down her, giving her strength and inner peace. Suddenly, from behind the curtains appears figure. Roel hears footsteps, and her look, full surprise and innocent curiosity, rises to the stranger. She understands that her privacy broken, but doesn't know what, yet is waiting her ahead. In the center of the ball, Universal attention attracts the family of Duke Hickorel. Their impressive appearance and elegance amaze present. Special interest causes their younger son Blonde with a serious but proud expression, with a look that immediately attracts all eyes. Many discuss that the Duke's family embodies by yourself the ideal of nobility and power. The boy whose his age is clearly not consistent with his adulthood behavior intrigues guests. Everyone admires there with an impeccable appearance and confidence. Among conversations appears elegant. The woman in red is Countess Cobelia. She attracts attention, your own sharp with her look and exquisite outfit. Presence as if adds mystery into the already tense atmosphere of the ball. Duke Hickorel and Duchess Serena begin search his own daughters. They suggest that, because of her small stature, she could get lost among the guests. However, despite the calm in their views, readable lung anxiety, the Countess notices woman in purple dress talking to one of the servants. Her alertness grows, and she suggests that behind this costs something more. The Countess doesn't miss it, suspicious-looking details, confident in her sensitively observation. Attention switches to this mysterious woman. Her confidence, and how she gives away orders, cause new ones in the guest questions. Some they are starting make guesses about her true intentions. The ball is filling up tension. The Countess, Duke, and Duchess realize that night promises be restless. Look, sirens directed at her husband, and she is clearly ready to follow his initiative to sort out the situation. The girl with white hair, Roel, looked surprised when someone tenderly touched her faces. Human Against noted her beauty and slightly excited expression that intensified flickering moons. Their mutual voltage hinted at something more than ordinary meeting. Roel, relieved, exhaled, hearing words of support. The person showed concern, asking if it had become her stay in the duchy too much heavy. This is instant, was filled simultaneously, warmth and hidden anxiety. Roel looked at her interlocutor. Her eyes glistened with the mixture joy and surprise. Lunar light emphasized her tender dress, and her shy pose hinted at her inexperience in such situations. The woman with scarlet hair asked why Roel didn't answer. Her letters look full hidden resentment, and a harsh tone created tension. Every word seemed cut, air-filling space, hidden threat. Roel asked in surprise, were they leaving? Whether she received letters, her innocent expression and confusion did situation more tense. The woman, on the contrary, grimaced, not believing her words, that more deepened abyss between them. Woman with fury grinned, accusing Roel in a lie. Her tense look and threatening posture filled the atmosphere with fear, increasing drama scenes. The woman grabbed Roel's hand, leaning close to her face, and said with contempt that she imagined myself important only because it became part of the duchy. This collision left Roel shocked and depressed. They flowed up past reproaches. Woman reminded Roel how did she live for her account within long years. Her words sounded like accusation, strengthening feeling guilt and insecurity in the girl dark. The memories made Roel lower her head. The woman stated bitterly that related to Roel like a family member daughter, but she did not justify her expectations. This phrase awakened in the girl deep pain, and her eyes filled up sadness and disappointment. Woman demanded that Roel went and asked the Duke for mercy, reminding him that her mother is in difficult times position. With these words, she put her hands on his shoulders. Girls? Her voice sounded as an order, immersing Roel in fear and hopelessness. In one of the most heavy days, his own life. Roel, little one, a girl with white hair and purple through the eyes, found myself in a gloomy room. She felt pain loss and fear when woman with a cold expression faces demanded from her, call her mother. These words echo responded to her heart. Roel tried to believe that behind the strict appearance, women is hiding kind heart. She noticed rare manifestations, softness, and tried convince myself that Madam really takes care of her, despite her frightening behavior and strict requirements. However, the reality turned out to be different. Each error or small negligence, Roel became the cause, cruel punishments. Madame beat and humiliated her, constantly repeating that girl not enough tries. These moments forced Roel feel myself helpless and unnecessary. So Roel began to perceive violence. How something by itself. It goes without saying, she tried to drown out her feelings, convincing myself that I may have deserved such a thing. Life, her children's faith in the best, gradually faded away. One day, Roll reported that her sent to the Duchy of Hikaral. She learned that they think too much useless to stay in this house, and her sending was to become retribution for all the mistakes. But deep down, the girl I saw this as a chance for salvation. In the Duchy, Hikaral Roel, for the first time, I felt warmth and care from the people around me. She turned out to be kind and attentive. She especially got attached to the new one, the hostess who showed concern for her. Roel began to realize that family maybe be source love, not pain, but fears and wounds the past was not let go. When she was asked to accept important decision, she froze in horror. Her voice trembled, and she could not agree, being afraid again. Do something is wrong, and it will be rejected. On her refusal, new hostess reacted with surprise, and tried get it from a girl explanations. Roel, I felt like it was on her, they press, but in her eyes was only fear mixed with bitterness, feeling his own weaknesses. Argument flared up. The woman who seemed kind suddenly became tough and domineering, like Madame from past. Roel tried resist, but was too weak to protect their feelings and desires. In the final, Roel felt that struggle for a new life only it begins. Her past continued chase her, but she understood that must find the strength to change. She didn't want to become a victim again, although the fear of the future all more tormented her soul. Roel with snow-white hair and purple with eyes suffocates underhand, squeezing her neck. There is panic and helplessness on her face. The situation seems hopeless when suddenly a powerful voice breaks through tense silence, bursting into what was happening and causing shock to everyone present. The siren, the Duchess, bursts into the door of the hall, figure illuminated by bright light, emphasizing her majesty. The look is full of anger and determination, and the voice sounds, how thunder out of the blue. She clearly doesn't intend to tolerate injustice, and its presence instantly changes the atmosphere. The siren does not hesitate no seconds. She, without hesitation, hits a woman who threatened Roel. The blow is powerful and peremptory, demonstrating her strength and power. The enemy does not have time, even understand that happened, falling back from the unexpected attacks. Duchess's eyes. Sirens sparkle with blue flame, reflecting her rage. She addresses words full of words to a woman, contempt and cold rage, demanding explain how she dared to commit such. Her voice is firm and unyielding, and her presence is overwhelming. The culprit incidents, red-haired aristocrat, it seems confused and scared. She doesn't expect such a turn of events, and tries justify myself. But her attempts look pathetic against the backdrop of confidence and strength. Sirens, despite everything, the redhead trying to find an excuse, your own actions. Her tone becomes arrogant. She speaks with pretension, hoping use your own position to turn the situation in their favor. However, her words sound unconvincingly. Roel, pressed against the wall, trembles from the horror she has experienced. Her purple eyes filled with fear and doubt. She realizes his helplessness, and that's all more withdraws into himself, looking at what is happening with confusion. Redhead young woman tries to assert his right to speak with Roel, calling her his own daughter. Her face is distorted with emotions, anger, fear, and resentment. But Serena is not going to give in. Her strength is unshakable. The siren blared sharply, repels red-haired the girl. She falls to the floor screaming. All her aristocratic pride breaks down into smithereens. She looks at the Duchess with hatred, but can't do anything oppose her authorities. Redhead young woman shouts, declaring his nobility, but her words sound, how desperate an attempt to save one's own face. Siren just looks at her, coldly confident in her rightness. Everything is ending, subordination, that only strengthens the Duchess's authority. The siren is shocked. It's written all over her face. Horror by. She faces the unknown threat. The figure opposite her, shrouded mysterious and cold. It opens up, asserting its power. The ominous atmosphere emphasizes voltage moment. Aslan, dressed in a strict and majestic outfit, enters the luxurious hall. His cold the look and the discreet bow emphasize the status while he presents myself, Vincenzo showing nobility and respect. Kion appraisingly looks at Aslan, recognizing him. Crown Prince light candles creates soft but tense lighting, enhancing the atmosphere of the meeting. Two strong personalities. Vincenzo, dressed in luxurious clothes, saves impenetrable expression faces. His majestic pose emphasizes that this meeting has huge political and personal weight for both sides. Aslan expresses respect to the prince, maintaining restraint. His posture emphasizes strict discipline, and the outfit with coats of arms speaks of his belonging to a noble family and steadfastness character. Kion intently watches the young, a man pondering the rumors. His thoughtfulness expresses mixture curiosity and lightness. Mistrust. Aslan's image at this moment becomes more intriguing. The siren invites Aslan to sit down, gently, pointing to the chair. Her calm but wary expression faces emphasizes her status, and the gesture enhances the atmosphere of the upcoming dialogue. Aslan thoughtfully observing his interlocutors. He realizes that his appearance and age cause mixed feelings in others' feelings. His steadfastness contrast with the internal one's experiences. Vincenzo smiles warmly, destroying part tension. It expresses approval of Aslan, pointing out the positive impressions of his actions. The atmosphere begins, a little soften. The general scene ends, meeting with a hint of the future events. Political intrigues intertwined with personal ambitions leave tense expectation, further development relationships between the heroes. Aslan, dressed in a strict black suit with red cloak, sits on the throne. In a tense pose, Vincenzo expresses relief that the banquet, perhaps unusual for the young man, did not become for him heavy test. Aslan, answering, restrained, demonstrates the strength of his character, surprising environment. Feeling views present. Aslan claims that this is his first formal banquet, with an underlying determination, beating off doubts. His look, red eye, sparkles, confidence that contrasts with his silence. This young man forces even experienced courtiers to feel important. Kion, crossing his arms, looks at Aslan without hiding surprise because of his short answers before the emperor. There was a gleam in the prince's eyes, disapproval and hidden threats. He tries test Aslan, but he saves endurance, not allowing shake your authority. Vincenzo recalls recent events. The news of Aslan's engagement shocked many. He was surprised choice young men who rejected more profitable proposals for the sake of family Viscount Lintea, while showing unusual insight and strategy thinking. Discussing this event, Emperor notes that Aslan's choice violated many expectations. However, after long marriage negotiations, young man accepted wise decision, having given preference, stability, and strength connections with the respected, although less influential family. Among potential unions was offered marriage to the princess, but Aslan refused it. This union could be profitable, but the princess whose health it was weak. I couldn't to become strong support for the young hero in his difficult fate. Emperor regrets, but admits Aslan's motives, which is valid based on from sober calculation, strengthening connections with a powerful duchy. This move reveals his deep wisdom and skill to foresee consequences their own actions despite the youth age. Aslan, bending his knee, expresses his devotion and determination protect interests. Kalios, his silhouette against the starry sky, personifies striving for the highest goals, to become not only a strong ruler, but also one who leads the way their own allies. In the luxurious hall, Roel appeared before the assembled people with pride posture. Surprised viewer understands that someone did it, choice in favor, her family's, though she seemed the most modest among present. This fact is striking environment causes bewilderment and hidden emotions. Young Duke Hickarel, in red mantles with a glance declares his intention to enter into an alliance with Roel. His statement causes deep interest, and those gathered, including Countess Kobalian, ask why exactly she. In silence, it feels like tension and light envy. Talk interrupts a messenger bursting into the hall with news of the commotion on the terrace. His face expresses anxiety, and the words suggest something serious. Those present are wary, and Roel involuntarily feels alarms. Hikaru catches stranger look piercingly, looking at the interlocutor. In his eyes lights up acquaintance anxiety, and he understands that what's happening associated with the lady Lintea. The silence of the hall seemed thickens, preparing for the inevitable. On the terrace, among shadows and lights, appears mysterious figure, Serena de Hickarel. Her cool, confident posture throws call present, and the voice sounds like the beginning of a new chapters, declaring her arrival with a mysterious purpose. Madame Hicquerel, seeing Serena, looks like stunned. Her look is full of bewilderment and fear, and she barely pronounces her name, like anticipating something is wrong. The atmosphere is thickening, foreshadowing sharp shift events. From afar, a cry is heard. Roel! Countess Kabelian, together with Heron and another companion, they burst in worried condition. Young girls. Their faces express not only fear, but also determination. Protect her any price. Hicquerel, with your own characteristic composure, evaluates what's happening. His look becomes stern when he sees Roel surrounded her family, that is trying to figure out what happens, but the atmosphere becomes all more tense. Roel, noticing a figure in the distance, realizes that all around turns into a complex tangle of intrigues. Her eyes express surprise and fear, because among shadows, Heron and her teacher appear, who seem too much involved in the situation. Voltage reaches its apogee when the Viscountess with anxiety exclaims, realizing the seriousness of its situations. Her face full panic, and her voice breaks. She as if I became a witness, something that can't be forgiven or hide. Young girl and elegant, the dress stands proudly in front of a group of people, demanding apologies for Roel. The atmosphere is tense, and the dazzling light windows emphasizes her strength and confidence. Everyone else, including the Countess, is in confusion. The Countess, without hiding indignation, asks again, not believing your own ears. Her face expresses a mixture of anger and surprise, clearly pointing to her reluctance. Obey. This point is emphasized, conflict and tension situations. Young woman looks at the Countess with determination, warning her from further shame in front of others. Her stern look and confidence in her voice make the Countess think it's not worth it. Should I give in to her? Roel costs scared, but touched happening. She quietly apologizes, her voice trembling, and her face expresses embarrassment and gratitude. This moment shows how the care of others helps her overcome her fear. Finishes with a displeased look, conversation, throwing a remark about that enough with this. She leaves keeping his pride. But the atmosphere makes it clear that this defeat for her. Roel, as if not believing what was happening, thinks that the Countess did apologize after all. Her tender smile and surprise show her internal relief and gratitude. The Duchess and Duke appear inquiring well-being Roel. The Duchess carefully concerns her shoulder, and the Duke looks on with concern. This scene emphasizes their support and participation. Duchess tenderly consoles Roel, but soon is being asked, the question is why all of them ended up here. Her unexpected replica forces other heroes embarrassedly look at each other. Siren playfully explains that they were just walking. Although the journey took some days, Roel slightly embarrassed, realizing absurdity. This excuses, but grateful for them care. Hicquerel stretches out Roel handkerchief, trying hide your own embarrassment. She is surprised but accepts the gesture with warmth. This moment shows development, their relations, and warmth connection between the heroes. Roel, she bowed shyly, fulfilling the request. Her fragile expression and soft smile emphasized her tenderness. Her innocent, "Thank you, sire, for your attention and support," strengthened her sincere gratitude, making the moment touching and complete warmth. Hicquerel is angry, is being asked. The question is where Aslan is. There, his stern gaze emphasized by his monocle and tense gesture express his rage. The Duke is indignant, absence, due discipline and experiences, irritation, as if all responsibility for order lies with him. The Siren is trying calm down situation, saying that Aslan will not be around for long, moved away, but at the same time notices that Roel was left alone. The sarcastic tone emphasizes her discontent. Aslan's action, adding a moment of lightness voltage to common dialogue. Hicquerel outraged Aslan's recklessness, wondering question about his actions. His face is distorted with anger, but despite the severity, he tries to control himself. Roel shyly denies trying, calm him down, but feels growing voltage. Roel explains that Aslan was summoned, the Emperor emphasizing absence, he has no choice. Hers emotional, the answer is conveyed with trepidation. Her concern, however, Hicquerel remains irritated. His look indicates that he is all more condemns Aslan's actions. The siren comforts Roel, assuring that now she has nothing else to talk about. Worry, her soft voice and friendly smile create an atmosphere of calm and support. Roel, feeling myself safe, thanks her with sincerity. Joy. Aslan appears, suddenly bursting in with a scream, full despair. His eyes are burning with rage and anxiety. He is worried, condition, Roel. The girl, seeing him, smiles with relief, noticing his presence, showing your own trust in him. Roel assures that everything is fine with her, trying hide your own excitement. Aslan looks at her with bewilderment and hidden anxiety. His gaze cold but reflective interior conflict, as if he can't believe her words. Roel apologizes, feeling myself guilty of what happened. However, Aslan reminds that I shouldn't have to ask for forgiveness anymore. His stern tone speaks of concern, although he hides their feelings under masked strictness. Aslan, feeling anger, demands explanations. His suspicions fall on the Viscountess Linter. His gaze is full of rage, and his inner anger begins capture it, creating an atmosphere of tension. Roel, on the contrary, remains calm, trying save harmony. Roel, surrounded by the stern looks of the noblewomen, feels tension when everyone is waiting. Answer. The atmosphere is tense, and everyone from present thirsts. Find out the truth about who became reason, what happened. Girl feels heaviness, their expectations, and the rays of the setting suns breaking through the doors, only emphasize the drama of the moment. On the stairs, suddenly, Duchess Siren appears, impressively looking around at the guests. Her presence fills the room with respect and fear. She, holding back emotions, sets reasonable question that more emphasizes tension situation. The nobility remains indecisive, watching the developments events. Roel froze in shock, her face illuminated light and anxiety, her purple eyes full bewilderment, and thin hands nervously intertwined. Her thoughts and feelings overflow when she suddenly pronounces name, when addressing someone who clearly occupies important place in her life. Hikaru intently, he looks at the situation. The tension in his posture does not leave doubts. He realizes that Aslan's tension can lead to irreparable consequences. An alarming guess flashes through his head because he sees how Aslan's tension reaches limit. Aslan comes out forward, his face full anger and fury. His red eye, it's on fire, and the figure seems impressive and terrifying. He seemed to lost control, ready to cross the line. The Duke tries at the last moment, stop him, but the young man's anger insurmountable. Against the backdrop of shimmering Aslan, meets the stars sight Roel, who barely holds tears. Her trembling hands and pleading sight stop him. She does desperate, trying to keep him from leaving her. Sincerity touches even his vulnerable soul. Roel, feeling inner strength, gently looks at Aslan. Her voice fills the moment with sincerity and tenderness. She asks forgiveness, trying calm down raging emotions. Her sincerity and fragility have a profound effect on Aslan's influence. Aslan softens, his anger is replaced repentance. He takes her hands, and between them arises a sincere moment of forgiveness. Easy light and flowers around emphasize magic. Moment, returning environment, peace and harmony. The Duchess, the Duke, and others observers save restrained expression. Even despite the fact that conflict settled, Aslan and Roel look at each other. Their connection seems stronger. Their intimacy evokes in others mixed emotions. Evening ends, and the nobility leaves place events. Under everything is a starry sky. Seems peaceful, but in the air is hovering, feeling that this just the beginning of new trials for heroes. Woman with anxiety expression faces reflects that for the first time sees Aslan in this anger. Her internal voltage is intensified because the situation is clearly out of control, her ordinary understanding. Observing this, she realizes how much important this moment. Aslan appears before us in the darkness. His eyes are burning red light, and the face expresses something that is not characteristic to him. Rage he was since childhood, a child who is up to everything watched. I don't care. But it's on him now, visible emotions that he usually hides. When case concerns Roel, Aslan in full loses control of his emotions. His anger and helplessness turn him into a vulnerable figure despite his cold appearance. This contrast enhances the drama of what is happening. In a majestic hall surrounded golden elements, Aslan and Roel are standing together. Girl Soft holds his hand, showing that exactly she capable reassure him of this condition. Their connection becomes noticeable, even for those around. Woman in strict dress notices departure of Aslan and Roel. Her concern is visible on her face. Her words are full discontent. She clearly does not approve what's happening. Tension in the air continues grow. Roel meets an elderly man with a magic staff. His impressive appearance and friendly smile, they hint that he is playing important role. His appearance becomes important, a turning point in history. The magician introduces himself, Royan Atheros, the Empire's chief mage. His calm yet confident tone underlines his authority. The man clearly carries within himself the key to the solution events that unfold around Roel. The elderly magician explains that arrived to talk to Roel. His words cause diverse reactions from those around you. Everything is tense. They are watching what is happening, realizing that talk maybe change a lot. Roel stands in the spotlight, surrounded by people, each from which expresses their emotions. Aslan is clearly worried, his gaze chained to the girl. Everyone understands that her words now are playing decisive role. The chief magician notices that the atmosphere in the hall is tense and inappropriate. His words, full of peace, create small. There is a ray of light in this sea of emotions, but the conflict is clearly not yet resolved. Sage, with a long white beard, talking to a man in the dark cape. That one asks about what happened, but the old man is thoughtful, notes that it is coming soon. Visit the Duchy of Hikarl. The atmosphere between them is tense. Hiding alarm. Young human is surprised by the elder's words. His confusion, it's growing. He didn't expect it. Here, similar proposal. It seems like an idea. Visiting the duchy evokes in him internal doubts, but he's trying to hide emotions behind the questions. The old man, pondering what happened, explains that felt something strange when he entered the banquet hall. He suspects that happened something important and disturbing that requires intervention. His gaze is full of thought. Young human clarifies whether he managed to talk to the lady who was standing in the center of events. There is a hint of hope that the situation could be allowed without unnecessary complications, but Expression Faces speaks of his doubts. Elder sighs and shares that the meeting still took place. However, despite his frankness and disclosure personalities, the inhabitants of the duchy remained wary. He is clearly disappointed, but understands their distrust. Story takes us back to the moment when the old man applied efforts to arrange a meeting with Duke Hikarl and Lady Roel in the capital. Only later, some days, he received answer that to him to come arrive in the duchy in person. An old man discusses with a young man satellite strange attachment residence of the duchy to the lady. This feeling seems them excessive that more complicates possible interaction. Young human shows caution. Lady Roel passes medical examination. She is diagnosed insignificant damage, explaining that this temporary inconvenience that will be reflected in the voice. Doctor prescribes ointment and medications to calm down gathered. The camera focuses on the lady nearby. Her gentle image in snow-white dress, with ribbons and decorations, looks like fragile. Her quiet determination in the face, what happened, forces surrounding worry about her condition. Duke Hikarl, his subordinates, and the young heron is in shock, are discussing consequences. Diseases, lady. They worried that the voice might abyss completely. Their concern transmits voltage with which they perceive situation. Aslan raises Roel in her arms, and she suddenly shyly lowers look. The atmosphere around them is filled romantic tension at the time. Roel is clearly stunned this unexpected manifestation attention. Aslan confidently reports surrounding that. They are leaving room, holding Roel in her arms. Her embarrassment intensifies, and cheeks are being poured blush that causes curiosity among those present. Young guy with a glance, observes what is happening and asks questions. Question not related, state Roel with her health. His direct but concerned sight shows wish sort out the situation. Aslan with determination carries Roel through the long hall. She is trying to convince him that I am able to go myself, but he refuses any objections, noting that she needs take care forces. Roel ponders what Aslan might do, begin conversation about the events that happened earlier. He is worried, but there is no condemnation in his eyes. Instead, this is why he is focused on her well. Being that causes her surprise and confusion. Her thoughts interrupts quiet environment of the room where they enter. A huge chandelier reflects soft light, adding stage cozy intimacy. Roel, trying to figure out what he might ask her, here. Roel timidly starts talking, trying explain. But in her, there is uncertainty in her gaze. Aslan looks at her with a soft expression, faces expecting that she will decide for herself how continue. He assures that will stay close as long as she won't fall asleep. This application filled out warmth makes her feel yourself safe. Roel understands that next to him she is not alone. She's surprised by his attention, but Aslan, noticing this, asks embarrassing whether he, her. His slightly flirtatious tone and features persons who remind her of a cat. They make her feel awkwardness, but also hidden joy. As he leaves, he wishes her peace nights. His warm look and calm confidence give Roel feeling peace. But light smile leaves feeling something more between them. On the first scene of Aslan sitting by the bed, Roel thoughtfully promises, protect her while she sleeps. His eyes full melancholy, and the atmosphere around filled cold with a radiance that enhances feeling defenselessness. Girls and determination. Young men. In the next moment, an elderly man in a robe, probably significant figure, waiting in front of the massive doors, while the servants bowed heads, preparing to meet him. The grandeur of the hall emphasizes solemnity, situations creating expectation, important events. The scene moves to the hall, where majestic windows they miss solar light. A man in a robe, perhaps having overcome long way, shows your own patience and readiness for an important conversation, reflecting tired, but retains dignity. The Duke and Duchess of Jicarella. They're refined, their clothes and posture emphasize their status. They warmly welcome the guest, radiating simultaneously strictness and cordiality, wondering the speed of his visit. Guest explains that his presence conditioned by personal invitation of the Duke. His soft smile and friendly sight add a touch of lightness to a formal setting. This emphasizes his respect for the owners. The next moment, the man delighted meeting suddenly perks up when he remembers Roel. His face shines joy that adds humor and charm in general serious atmosphere of the meeting. The Duchess shows concern and suggests be close to Roel to accompany her during conversation. Her sight expresses care, and the tone emphasizes wish protect girl and be support. Finally, a guest realizes excess their guardianship experiencing lung embarrassment. His reaction causes smile, balancing drama. Previous moments note tender self-irony. Roel and Aslan, together, enter the hall. Surrounded atmosphere, luxury, and tranquility, girl, in a blue dress with white lace, attracts attention. His own tender appearance. Aslan, tall and stern, holds himself behind. That creates contrast. Their appearance causes surprise among those present, creating intrigue. An elderly man with gray hair meets them with unexpected joy. His eyes glow respect, but his voice trembled with excitement. Appearance role causes him strong emotions that emphasizes her importance and possible connection with his past. Roel bowing expresses the joy of meeting this human. Her smile sincere, and she radiates warmth. The man whom they call Roem, it seems touched in her words, and theirs. Interaction straightaway becomes cordial and welcoming. Roem suddenly asks Roel, stay. His hand gesture points to the chair next to him. The girl is surprised, but obeys his request. This scene is full hidden tension and anticipation that will happen next. Roem writes something on a piece of paper, and Roel attentively is watching. Her eyes are filling up interest and lightness anxiety. Suddenly is happening something unusual. A man uses magic that amazes Roel. Glowing magic begins fill space. Roem heals his hands, demonstrating incredible abilities. Roel observing this experiences delight and surprise. Her eyes reflect magic that seems to envelop their both. Roel stunned happening. She touches my throat, unable to contain it. Surprise in her head is emerging set questions, but she can't find the words to express their feelings. Magic. Roema left her silent. Roem explains that his abilities associated with the imperial family. He adds that use magic on such level, maybe only thanks to exceptional practice. Someone from present remains dissatisfied but retains silence. Roel notices white a fluffy dog lying nearby. The dog is frightened, looks at Roem, and the girl is trying her calm down. Her kindness and tenderness find response from an animal that begins trust her. Talk continues and Roem calls Roel by name. She slightly embarrassed answers, continuing to pet the dog. The atmosphere warms, and a warmth is created between the heroes, feeling closeness and trust, as if this is the beginning of a new chapters, their stories. Against the backdrop of the mystical, an elderly man dressed in clothes around a magic circle, Sage declares that Roel's destiny is to become a magician. His words sound confidently and foreshadow amazing changes in her life. Light and symbols around emphasize importance. Moment. Roel Young, a girl with white hair and purple with eyes with surprise, asks question not believing what she heard. Her sight filled confused, she can't accept this one unexpected news. Her young age and innocence expression faces they do her doubts touching. The man looks at her sternly, but with warmth declaring that this cannot be as if rejecting opportunity, her disagreements. Roel awkward smiles, trying hide your own confusion, that adds Sage a little humor and lightness. Sage with interest asks if there were any, whether in her family of magicians, assuming that her abilities could be passed on by inheritance. His serious sight emphasizes importance. Question. The atmosphere becomes more tense. Roel, she thinks looking into the distance, is trying. Remember, there were lie among her ancestors, those who owned magic. Her concentrated expression faces shows that this is for her unexpected and complex assumption. Roel with doubt reports that her parents and relatives, as far as she remembers, did not possess magical abilities. Her words seem sincere, but at the same time, she begins doubt your own past. Young woman remembers his mother, who did not have magic. Her thoughts accompanied by, with tender images, reminiscent of her warmth and care. Images past come to life, feeling nostalgia and light sadness. Then, her thoughts pass on to the family viscounts. She understands that, if there were magicians among them, this would have been known long ago. It is known, emotions are replaced. Determination to understand where they come from, her hidden capabilities. Remembering her father, she feels deep anxiety. Dark colors background emphasize tension and mystery. This part's her past. Questions about father remain unanswered, intensifying her alarm. Aslan Young, a man with dark hair and red with eyes, suddenly enters the room and asks everything. Are you okay? His worried sight shows that he is sincere, takes care of Roel. She replies that everything is fine with her. Okay, but her thoughts are clearly busy. Happened. Old man, with a glance, turns to Roel explaining that her magical abilities are not just a result of the environment, but an innate gift. His calm confidence causes Roel lung surprise and confusion, but at the same time awakens sincerity in her interest in what he is going to do, say more. Roel sitting in the light room, carefully listening, interlocutor. He says that his visit connected with important offer. Girl, a little confused, clearly doesn't understand what her waits, but in her eyes noticeably curiosity and light excitement. A man with white hair, accompanied by Aslan, declares that wants measure Roel's magical power. Aslan looks focused, but his gaze gives out hidden concern. Roel, on the contrary, seems slightly scared, but trying to control herself. Aslan is outraged by the man's words and calls his actions rude. He's furious, stands up, defending Roel. His red's eyes sparkle a threat, showing that he is ready, do everything to protect girl. Roel stunned what's happening and trying to understand what is happening. The man justifies himself by claiming that he did not intend to cause harm. Roel, his interest was exclusively academic. His gestures and words seem sincere, but Aslan still more wary. Roel does not interfere, but her sight gives out anxiety. Aslan firmly states that Roel can't be used. How a magical item, his words sound decisively, and in the eyes, readable rage. The man with white hair looks confused, realizing that it is not so easy to convince this defender. Into the room are included two new characters, a man and a woman, obviously from the nobility. They surprised heard their attention, focused on the mention of magic strength, Roel. Their appearance causes tension, but also hints at the important situations. Narrator explains that measurement magical strength in people is rare phenomenon usually used for magical stones. Stones saturated magic high are valued, and their power directly affects them, cost. This information forces think about intentions, men. Roel sits with her back to the audience, thinking about what was happening, her hair styled neat curls shimmering in the ray's light. She doesn't understand why everyone around focused on her magical strength. In her pose, it feels like confusion and slight sadness. An old man with a joyful expression faces offers Roel to discuss something important. His look is full of enthusiasm, and he is clearly inspired. Roel slightly smiles, feeling that there is no threat in his words, but only sincere wish. Help or offer something significant. Magician extends his hand to Roel, showing your own the intention to teach her magic. Roel, surprised and a little excited, feels like her life is ready to change forever, since new opportunities are opening up before her new horizons. The magician explains that he is the chief magician of the empire, and the Goths take Roel as a student. For him, it's strange because it's long time. He turned down students focusing on research. But he sees something unique in her that makes him reconsider your own solution. The magician admits that Roel possesses a rare talent that appears only once every decades. He invites her to immediately become his student, emphasizing how, this a rare chance that it is forbidden. Miss Roel begins to be aware significance this moment. Roel, taken aback by the surprise, asks time to think about it. Her reaction causes surprise among those around who cannot understand what is going on. Can to think when in front of you such opportunity, excitement and doubts capture her intelligence. Appears, who soft reminds Roel what she, maybe choose everything that wishes her soul. Her support and calm confidence help Roel overcome hesitation and get ready for something serious choice. Having realized their desires, Roel decides, agree to training. She informs the magician about his decision, feeling excitement and hope. Her voice sounds firmly, but the eyes full emotions. After all, she only begins, realize how will change her fate. Aslan, young man, with eyes, suddenly puts forward condition. He asks that Roel's magical power was measured after ceremonies coming of age. His cold sight causes tension in the room, adding drama. The magician expresses discontent Aslan's intervention, but agrees to his condition. This solution causes unexpected relief for Roel, who sees how even a magician is ready, make compromises for her sake training. The magician extends his hand to Roel, expressing hope for her cooperation. His words sound, how promise that her education will be the beginning of something great. The atmosphere is filling light and warmth, symbolizing the beginning of a new path. Roel smiles with sincerity, with joy and enthusiasm. She realizes that her is waiting amazing future. Determination and hope fill her heart. After all, she understands that will become a great magician. In the dark room, where warm light contrasts with the cold walls, Aslan tensely listens to Hikarel's words. The Duke calls him to talk, and the young man feels that talk will unpleasant. His look, usually calm, gives out lung anxiety, despite attempts save cold mask. Light, the sun shining through the curtains, fills room, strange feeling calm. The siren asks the question of whether I am familiar. Roel with the magician, and Aslan trying contain emotions, reflects how explain situation. In the room, it seemed even air became tense. Aslan, standing in front of Hikarel and Serena, replies that meeting happened in a shop owned by Count Atros. However, his words cause more questions. The Duchess is suspicious, looks at the young man as if is trying read his thoughts. Hikarel saves calm, but his look permeates. In Aslan's memories, a moment in the magical shop where Roel accidentally touched the mysterious stone. This moment becomes reason, powerful explosion. Magical energy filled out space, and Aslan still feels voltage those seconds, as if time stood still. Siren, with surprise and concern, learns about magic explosion. Her sight tense, she barely holds back emotions. Aslan's confidence in his words does not evoke in her trust, and in the soul of the Duchess, they are starting grow doubts related to actions young men. Hikarel concentratedly reflecting on what he heard. He comes to the conclusion that the magician mentioned measurement, magical strength, is not accidental. His voice sounds cold, and in it can be heard requirement explanations. It arises question: what that was, the reason this explosion, and what is in it, was the role of Aslan. Siren, narrowing eyes, accuses Aslan of hiding the truth. Her voice is firm, and her gaze penetrates into the very hidden corners of the soul. Tension between them. It grows, as if ready, just about grow into something more than just an exchange of words. Aslan lowers look, deciding not to reveal the whole truth. His words sound evasively, but you can feel it in them, heavy responsibility. The shadow of his figure lies on the floor, emphasizing internal struggle. However, he is sure, now is not the time to say everything. Hikaret grins, stating that, now to him it's becoming clearer. But in this clarity is hiding cold tension. It's like tests Aslan's strength, assessing his behavior and actions, preparing for the next step, which can turn everything upside down. Under a stern gaze, Hikaret and the siren's Aslan feels like their expectations. They are putting pressure on him. They remind him about the inadmissibility loss of control, mentioning incident at the banquet. The Duke and Duchess are expecting him to actions capable of to correct establish the situation, and the tension in the room reaches limit. Aslan resolutely declares his intention, pay out huge duty Viscountcy, Lynthia. His calm on the surface hides boiling inside emotions, but mysterious, only a shadow on the face strengthens the feeling of its hardness. This step seems to those around unexpected, but in his eyes is on fire confidence, as if he had accepted it long ago. This solution, surprised to Carol with a sheer mistrust, listens to Aslan's words. Surprise what's happening disrupts his habitual calm. His red eyes full doubts, and the tense posture emphasizes internal struggle. He tries to understand why the young man take on such burden. Aslan reveals his true identity goal. After duty well paid, he intends throw Viscountcy into the abyss disasters. Cold the sparkle in his eyes, and the confident tone give him away, man-driven revenge. His determination seems unyielding, and the aura around him inspires fear and respect. Siren, feeling tension, remembers how she got involved in this whirlpool events. Her thoughts focused on why it was at this moment that she collided with Aslan. Her graceful but stern appearance reflects the storm in the soul and anxiety in the eyes, shows that it's not simple accident. Before the internal, with a glance, Siren's an image of a family protecting Aslan arises. She doesn't understand what's so special, what people see in him to stand up for him so fiercely. Graceful lines her memories filled ironic contrast. She doesn't believe that this human deserves such devotion. The siren decides that next time meeting, she should to let Aslan understand, thanks to whom he ended up in the current situation position. Her anger mixed with pain and internal struggle. In clenched fists and tense pose, readable intention tear apart a vicious circle, not allowing events develop further. Siren discusses what is happening to Hikaret, confident that Lady Lynthia came in too far. She looks at the Duke waiting support, but his reaction turns out ambiguous. Her face reflects rage and confusion, and in the eyes visible hope that her opinion shares. Hikaret saves composure, his look penetrating and mysterious. It sets Siren question that forces her think about your own actions. His calm voice seemed builds a wall between them, and his presence inspires confidence that he knows more than speaks. Aslan, watching them conversation, immersed in his own thoughts. He feels myself devoted, remembering how everyone forgot about his mother. This moment becomes key to his future actions. He clearly understands that his path is revenge and restoration justice. The siren laments the words spoken, which as if break her heart. She feels myself crushed happening, but at the same time trying to find strength within himself, move on. In her look appears shadow, regrets, but pride does not allow her to show their true feelings to those around you. In the luxurious hall of the Marquisate Requion, one of the most influential in the empire, young a man with blue hair sat in a chair, thoughtfully looking into the distance. His calm but mysterious expression faces gave out internal tension. The family he belonged to was incredibly rich, and his influence in politics, it was felt everywhere. A woman with red hair and bright eyes, thoughtfully considered situation, remembering his position. She was proud that will become mother-in-law of the Duchy of Huckerel. In her look was read self-confidence after all. Now her will be recognize and respect even such influential people, like members Marquisate. Young a man with a cold smile took out from the pocket an elegant pendant with a dark stone. His actions were unhurried, but every detail gave away thoughtful plan. Those present watched him with bated breath, with interest, wondering what will the next step and what it intends to do. The man holding a box with a gift in his hands handed it over her woman, whose astonishment it was hard to hide. She puzzled looked at him, trying to understand the guest's intentions. The situation was becoming increasingly more tense, and intrigue grew with each a minute. A woman with red hair in confusion opened the gift that turned out to be unexpected and knocked out her from equilibrium. Her face expressed mixture amazement and confusion. At that moment, the young man, cold and reserved, asked her about her daughter, hinting at something important and forcing her feel awkwardness. Elsewhere in the environment, solar forest drowning in greenery and bright flowers. Roel, a girl with white hair, walked along the path, accompanied by Aslan and Siren. The warm day made everyone feeling peace, but Play Solar added rays to the scene, fabulous atmosphere. Siren discreetly smiling, I noticed how her family decided, get ready for a picnic, thanks to Roel's words. Girl, I felt them on myself, looks full of warmth and care. However a little, I was embarrassed, because habit of such things, events have not yet formed her. At dinner, at a large and rich one-set table, family discussed impressions from the walk. The southern forest, with its abundance flowers, left with everyone pleasant memories. The atmosphere at the table was cozy, despite the fact that every felt his role in the overall game. During friendly, Serena asked Roel if she liked the conversations, should she have picnics. The girl, a little embarrassed, she answered, but in her eyes was read children's sincerity. She caught every emotion interlocutors, as if absorbing this moment of intimacy. With sadness in the eyes, Roel admitted that I've never been to a picnic before. This one unexpected answer caused everyone's sympathy and warmth. The atmosphere instantly filled out room family. I realized that they still have a long way to go, many moments that they will be able to share, supporting each other. In the castle, flared up tense atmosphere. A young man in a formal suit, holding back excitement, imperiously orders, urgently mobilize everyone knights. His determination does not leave places, doubts, and those gathered, the soldiers looking at each other in fear, get ready to fulfill order. Mood surrounding speaks of the importance. What is happening seems to be looming on the horizon, serious threat. In another room, there is an elegant woman with long, gives-off light hair, ordered to his own faithful assistant. She requires collect everyone, chefs emphasizing importance their tasks. The servant, smiling slyly, hurries, execute her indication. The woman, despite the seriousness moment, looks confident in control situation. In the castle, it begins commotion. Everyone in the kitchen is worried. No one understands the reasons for the sudden order. Nearby is Roel, a girl with long, reddish hair, confused looks at what is happening, thinking about the reasons for such excitement. At this time, man solemnly announces that tomorrow, the family goes on a picnic, what causes more bewilderment. The entire fortress turns out involved in the preparations. The servants are collecting baskets, women prepare dishes. Roel offers her help, heading to the kitchen, but she politely see off back, explaining that without her, there are enough people, she has no choice but how to return to your own peace. But thoughts about what is happening do not give peace. Roel peeks out from windows, noticing how Aslan, along with the knights, rides out on horseback to inspect surroundings. Her heart shrinks with anxiety, look lingers on the departing riders, and in her head arise questions. Why is everyone so mobilized that happened and is connected? This is with recent one's events. The next day, while in the forest, Roel notices huge traces on the ground. Their dimensions, they are striking, and in the head, girls float up disturbing memories of the past attack beast. Her covers alertness. She trying to understand what kind of creature could have left such traces and why. They appear exactly now. Suddenly, Aslan appears nearby. His calm and confident behavior gives Roel a little confidence. He suggested that this tracks of a bear that came down from the mountains. Girl looks at him, and his presence helps her find equilibrium, though disturbing thoughts, all more remain in her head. However, the imprint pause causes Roel deep alarm. She remembers past events related to attacks and cannot get rid of the premonition that threat close. Aslan standing nearby makes it clear that ready her protect. Together, they decide research the surrounding area and find out what hidden behind this strange find. During walks in the forest, warriors accompanying company, they are experiencing awkwardness. Their covers embarrassment at what is happening, and their reaction transmits tension situations. In the background, you can see Siren restraining herself. Communicates with Roel, their figures reflect calmness and confidence. Group faces the consequences yesterday's events. Heron apologizes to Duke Hickarel and Serena for leaving trace that could attract monsters. His awkwardness emphasizes seriousness. What happened in the faces, Dukes express mixture discontent and surprise. Roel and Heron enthusiastically offer arrange a vacation in this part's forests. Their optimism transmits ease, moment, contrasting with tension previous events. Their pursuit supporting each other emphasizes the warmth of their relations. Roel, opening the suitcase, decides to cook something delicious. Her determination transmitted in a calm manner, atmosphere scenes. And it turns out that next to fluffy, radiating companion joy, your own presence. In this stage, it feels like home coziness. Finding a furry little animal causes surprise and mixed feelings. The Duke's emotions, Hickarel looked puzzled. Watches what is happening, and Heron is clearly outraged. This moment adds a humorous note to the plot, diffusing the atmosphere. Roel carefully feeds little animal, noticing how hungry he was. This a touching moment highlights her kindness and tenderness, contrasting with the majestic surroundings. She with love holds baby, creating warm scene. The Siren addressing Hickarel shares doubts about the future actions interaction transmits between them. Their fatigue, but also desire to find a way out from situations. Easy shadows from trees add drama scene. Haran expresses his determination by proposing deal with the problem on the spot. His confidence inspires surrounding, and the look emphasizes his determination. The atmosphere is tense, preparing for an important decision. Company decides, take advantage of closeness, rivers and forests, to search ingredients. Picturesque landscapes create feeling peace despite the wariness heroes. Sounds of nature become part their new plan. Hickarel showing practicality offers, get fish, noting the simplicity of this decisions. Serena agrees with him, emphasizing importance, associations, efforts. Their views express hope and unity, ending the scene on an optimistic note. Hickarel, with confidence and determination, took the sword offering, go hunting. His actions and calm tone emphasized experience and confidence, and Roel attentively followed him, slightly surprised. Unexpected decision, but feeling the strength of his leadership. Roel, tight holding a kitten in her arms, she found herself in the center of a crowd. Excitement, Hickarel and Serena were enthusiastically preparing for the hunt. And Roel felt easy confusion in front of them. Determination. The atmosphere is tense. Excitement and movement captured her. Siren a little bit confused and excited. She expressed wish, join in what's happening. Her determination, help others, and don't stand aside called sympathy. Despite her indecision, she strove to prove one's usefulness and courage. The Siren was calming Roel, assuring her that they'll be back soon. Her softness and a smile helped the girl feel confidence. Although Roel, I was sad because left alone, she accepted the situation with patience, continuing to hold her furry friend. Roel was left alone in silence. Forests, surroundings. Calmness strengthened her feeling, loneliness. She looked into the distance, mentally wishing a speedy return. Their own friends. Her purple eyes glowed, easy sadness for now. Kitty Cozy settled in her arms. Aslan, with good smile, came up with a basket, offering gather fruits by Rest Busy. His attention touched Roel, and she is grateful, agreed. Aslan's attentiveness gave her a feeling the care that she so lacked. Their joint. The walk led them to a fruit tree. Aslan handed her a ripe one fruit, and Roel couldn't help but smile. Her face it lit up gratitude, and his support made her feel myself significant. A trifle turned into a warm moment. Suddenly, Aslan approached, calling embarrassment and slight blush on Roel's face. She looked at him, feeling like her heart beats faster. In his gaze was read sincere care that confused and at the same time warmed her. Roel noticed the distant fruit, and with timidity, sincerity, suggested Aslan to go after him. Her wish-help was so sincere that he couldn't refuse. His consent caused her easy joy, and she prepared for a little adventure. Aslan walked next to Roel, while she, beaming with joy, carried a basket of fruits. Embarrassment gave way, happiness, and his care did her day is special. Simple interaction filled their souls with warmth and feeling importance to each other.